The UPSC CSE arena is an ever-evolving space where staying up to date becomes as crucial as maintaining a thorough preparation. With strategic planning and holistic coverage for exam syllabus, Vision IS Delhi presents GS Foundation course. Avail analysis and integration of current affairs with GS syllabus. All India test series with an innovative assessment system, inculcating post-test analysis, discussion, all India ranking, and more. Explore the holistic learning modules intrinsically designed for the ideal aspirant.
So hi, good afternoon. So the final part, I don't think that today more questions are there. थोड़े बहुत ही बचे हैं. So we'll see those all. And last section actually, what we observed that when was the last Olympics? 2024 छोड़कर 2021. हाँ, 21 में Tokyo था. So it happened in Tokyo, and then after there were many questions in 2022. So whenever the Olympics have happened, so you have to be little sport specific knowledge also you need to increase. Then, तो वो that is one part. तो अभी इस year Olympics has happened, तो उसका information collect कर लेना current affair, and basically vision के current affair से ही हो जाएगा. Any current affair you are studying, but then देखना that the coverage must be holistic. Right? So that is one part. So let's start with the remaining questions. And देखो कोई confusion नहीं रखना. This is just a question answer discussion only and nothing else. Did we discuss this dance forms? I think music was the last question. This was the last question last day. So we'll start with the dance forms then. So let me tell you that what all questions have been asked from the dance form since 2011. यहाँ पे तो coverage is from the 2015, but then from 2011. So 2012 में there was a one question related to Bharatnatyam and Kuchipudi. Then 2014 there was a one question from Satariya dance form. Then 2017 there is this question from Manipuri Sankirtana. And then this year 2024 there was a question on the Garba. So these were, so what is the trend which is visible to us? At least every third year there is a question from the third to fourth year there is a question from the dance forms. But then this year Garba question was a UNESCO heritage question, and then moreover it was also basically that folk dance. So abhi right now is the festive season of the Garba. Garba is happening. So I expect ki it's been time that classical dance they haven't asked question. So you can expect classical dance question in 2025. So let's look at this 2017 question from the dance forms. With reference to Manipuri Sankirtana, consider the following statements. So let's have a little bit of discussion on the Manipuri dance form. Manipuri dance form emerged in Manipur, as the name suggests, and the story goes back to the dance of Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati in the hills of Manipur. But then later on, it is the tradition of the Lord Krishna which became more popular in the Manipuri, and in today's time, generally they perform the Lord Krishna's theme only. So there are two themes which are performed in Manipuri. One is the Ras Leela and another is the Sankirtana. Ras Leela is the love affair of Lord Krishna with the Gopikas and Radhas, and Sankirtan is his entire life story. So what they have asked, कि एक particular part of one particular part of the Manipuri, that is Manipuri Sankirtana. So then it is a song and dance performance. So Manipuri is unique dance form. Then Manipuri और कुचिपुड़ी में इन दोनों में similarity है that the dancer used to sing also. Then so these two out of 8 classical forms, in these two classical forms they used to sing also. Then so it is a song and dance performance, and Kathak is one dance form in which not only dancers are dancing but they interact. गाना नहीं गाते हैं वो लोग, ठीक है? They interact with the audiences. बीच में अचानक से रुक जाएंगे and they will start interacting with the audiences. So these three are unique. Kuchipudi, Manipuri, remember they are known for the singing. Dancing तो है ही, singing also, and in Kathak dancing and interacting with the audiences. So very first one. Then cymbals are the only musical instrument used in the performance. Now understand, even you haven't studied, what is the word that you are looking at in? Which is the extreme word? Only. Only is a very extreme word. Only is a very extreme word. I have seen 99% of the time the statements where only is there, that is incorrect. Then तो you last day also हम लोगों ने discussion किया था कि you have to look out for the word only, extreme words. Then so cymbals is what? Manjira. हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? Manjira. So those flat disc and people rub it like this. So Manjira are the only musical instrument used in the performance. No dance could be like this. ठीक है? That सिर्फ Manjira या एक ही instrument पे हो. In fact, when you read Manipuri, तो you read about many instruments they use. They use a flute which is called as pena. And then they use a drum, meaning kind of a mridang kind of thing, which is called as pung. Then they use cymbals, and they also use kartals. What is kartals? Rhythmic hand clapping. So this is also musical thing. So there are 4 or 5 instruments you read over there. That would not be correct. Then it is performed to narrate the life and deeds of Lord Krishna. That is what is Sankirtana. Anywhere, everywhere you heard the name of the Sankirtan. So Sankirtan matlab the life deeds of the Lord Krishna. Then so it was a, देखो जब question classical dance से आता है, it is favorable to you because you can always do it. Then when the question comes from the folk dances, then it becomes difficult because India is a land of the thousands of the folk dances. But one good thing that we have observed about the folk dances when UPSC is asking, it's only asking when it is in the news. किसी न किसी form में news में है, तो then only they do ask then. And sometime it is some difficult forms are there, but उसके साथ में कुछ easy form देके and they make it eliminating. ठीक है? So in that way you have to be cool, calm and composed to eliminate the ones and then scientifically deduce the answer. So let's go to the next question. This is this year question. And कुछ लोगों ने exam दिया था. How many of you saw my predictions before exam? I think it is, you saw na? So I said ki Garba is going to come into exam. It came in exam then. So Garba, 4 things I said, 12 topics I predicted. It was, I think, not 1 hour, 21-minute video in which 12 topics I predicted for the prelims exam in art and culture, and 4 were there in the paper. Then one was the Garba. So let me tell you Garba. Garba or Dandiya, यहाँ तो पता ही है कि क्या मतलब आंसर है, वो डिस्कशन नहीं है. You need to know a little more about this form. So people generally get confused with the Garba and Dandiya. Then, so what is difference between the two? दोनों same है. See, Garba is what? That actually it is derived from the word Garbh. Then, so होता क्या है? That in the middle they will be keeping a earthen pot. ठीक है? मिट्टी का एक घड़ा. Then that earthen pot, and then that would be porous. Porous मतलब उसमें छिद्र हो. Then in the middle they will keep a diya, and they will keep a diya, and then the light is coming out from that particular garba, and then the ladies they dance around that particular that particular earthen pot. It is indicative of the 9-day garba is performed, and 9 day is synonymous to the 9 months of a child in the mother's womb. Then so it is the celebration of the mother goddess. It is celebration of the goddess Durga, and the 9-day celebration is the celebration of the mother goddess. Then so that is Garba. And then Dandiya is a separate performance. Okay? Dandiya is not that it is also performed during the Navratra, but it is a dance form where you play with the sticks. Okay? So you play with the sticks, and that is Dandiya is celebration of the victory on the 9th day. Then, so both are connected, but both are separate. Then, and both are popular. Both emerged from which state? Gujarat. Then, so both emerged from Gujarat. देन इसमें और भी डांस मेंशन है, ठीक है. छऊ डांस, ठीक है. छऊ इज अ डांस विच इज प्रैक्टिस्ड इन वेस्ट बंगाल, पुरुलिया छऊ, देन सरायकेला छऊ, एंड देन मयूरभंज छऊ. तो सरायकेला फ्रॉम उड़ीसा, एंड देन मयूरभंज फ्रॉम उड़ीसा, एंड सरायकेला फ्रॉम झारखंड. देन सो दीज आर द थ्री छऊ. एंड छऊ इज, अभी एक एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि मे बी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया इन अपकमिंग 4-5 years मे गिव छऊ अ क्लासिकल डांस स्टेटस, बट स्टिल इट हैजंट बीन गिवन. देन गरबा बताई दिया, दुर्गा पूजा वी ऑलरेडी नो, I hope you know, and Kumbh Mela is related to the 4 places, that is that most important Prayag, then comes Haridwar, Nasik and Ujjain. And what is the story? So story is that when Lord Vishnu was taking the Amrut pot from the Asuras after the Samudra Manthan, and then he disguised in the form of Mohini, he was dancing in front of them, and he took the Amrit pot. He started running after taking that pot of elixir. One asur, that many asuras started chasing him. He was killing them. Meanwhile, he is moving forward. And the one moment, asur came very closer to him. The name of the asur was Rahu Ketu. And 4 drops fell from the pot. These 4 fell at the Prayag, Haridwar, Ujjain and Nasik. So there Kumbh is celebrated. The idea is that if these places on the day of the Kumbh, if anybody dips into it, so then the purification of the character happens. Then, meaning that that person, if earlier he is committing crime, so now onwards that his mind would be purified. It's not about कि पुराने पाप धुल गए. मतलब एक ये normal notion है. It's not about पुराने पाप धुल गए. If you go with the devotions from here onwards, you will not be committing that mistake. Then another thing, 2 more drops fell, and these drops fell when Lord Vishnu was cutting the head of the Rahu Ketu with the Sudarshan Chakra, one in the mouth of Rahu and one in the body part, which is Ketu. So that's how these 2 that things, they became Amar Ajar, and that's how in Hindu astrology, in Kundali, you can always find the presence of the Rahu and Ketu. And so that is the story. So that's about the Kumbh Mela. Then Kalamkari painting, easy question I would say. That see that give me 1 minute, I have cold and then cough. So कलमकारी, इस नाम से 2 पेंटिंग्स हैं कलम से रिलेटेड. एक पटना कलम, दूसरा कलमकारी. पटना कलम, as the name suggests, it must be from Patna, and Patna Kalam was from the time of the Mughals only. Then it was practiced by the people who were there in the courts of the royal people, and they were painting. So royal painters of the Bihar were doing the Patna Kalam. It was based on the normal life of the people, hardships of the people. Kalamkari is the painting of Andhra. Then it is the painting of the Andhra. It is done on cotton cloth. And there are 2 types of the Kalamkari. One is Srikal Hasti Kalamkari and another is the Masulipatnam Kalamkari. So Srikalhasti is the famous temple town of Andhra, known for many such Hindu religious things. And Srikalhasti में जो कलमकारी बनती है, that is based on Hindu religion. Then so motifs are based on Hindu religion. And Masulipatnam, since it fell in the area of the Golconda, तो यहाँ पे there was a influence of the that Persian designs. Then तो block printing होती है. What is block? I don't know you have any idea or not, but then कैसे बताऊँ, ठीक है, we'll do an exercise. I'll do. Just give me 1 minute. तो block printing होता कैसे है? Is it? Yeah, fine. So some sort of blocks would be created, like wooden blocks. Then this wooden blocks might have designs. Then this might have this kind of designs. It is dipped into the color and then block, 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 block. This is how it is done. Then so there are many. मतलब in fact you must have heard about Jaipur में एक मतलब print है that is very famous, Sanganeri print. It goes well in the bed sheets and everything. So that is also a block printing. Then there is one more printing that is called as Bagaru printing. That is also very popular in Jaipur, particularly in Rajasthan. So block printing say there are many textiles which are created in today's time, and so this particular Masulipattnam Kalamkari is a block printing, but the designs are Persian, and Srikal Hasti is totally Hindu, okay? And Hindu gods, goddess, Hindu designs, motifs are created in it. And so this is the इसमें बहुत सिंपल, मतलब इनफैक्ट ऑप्शंस भी बहुत सिंपल है. हैंड पेंटेड कॉटन टेक्सटाइल इन साउथ इंडिया, आंध्रा भी नहीं पूछा है, ठीक है. तो दैट इज हाउ वाई दे आस्क साउथ इंडिया, बिकॉज पीपल गेट कंफ्यूज विद द पटना कलम. इसलिए मैंने पटना कलम तुमको बताना जरूरी समझा कि पटना कलम में आगे पटना लिखा हुआ है, ठीक है, एंड इट इज फ्रॉम पटना इटसेल्फ, देन फ्रॉम बिहार इटसेल्फ. देन सो लेट्स मूव ऑन टू नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. जस्ट गिव मी 1 minute. Done. Then the painting of Bodhisattva Padampani is one of the most famous and often illustrated painting at answer Ajanta. ठीक है. Last day also I think I discussed when I was discussing about the Buddha. So let's understand. Padampani is a Bodhisattva, and we defined who is Bodhisattva. Then, so there are many Bodhisattvas who are mentioned in the Buddhism, okay? And some names also, I think last class was there: Kshittigarbh, Akasgarbh, Samantabhadra, then Padampani, Vajrapani. Then, so these are the names of the Bodhisattva. Now, I'll tell you 4 or 5 Bodhisattvas, जो often in not just in the UPSC but state PCS में भी पूछते हैं. तो Padampani is the most often, ठीक है. And what is one alternative name of Padampani? Avalokiteshwar, ठीक है, the Lord who looks down with the compassion. So he is known with the 2 names. One is Padampani and another is the Avalokiteshwar. And what is Padam in the name? Padam is the Padma, Kamal, ठीक है. So lotus flower. So the Bodhisattva who is holding the lotus flower is Padampani. And why it is most celebrated? The reason is कि जब अजंता जाओगे तो this is the one painting which is best and moreover well preserved. So rest of the paintings, they have little bit of issues because it is too old. They are not in a good state, but Padampani is in a very good state. Then, so this is one Bodhisattva. Another Bodhisattva who is depicted in Ajanta cave is Vajrapani. And who is Vajrapani? Vajrapani is that Bodhisattva who is holding a Vajra. What is Vajra? Vajra is a instrument, ठीक है. You must have seen Ramayana, Mahabharat, and then you must have seen those wars that in the Mahabharat war, all of a sudden that Arjun does like this and then some divine weapon comes in his hand. So these are the Vajras. Then, so Vajrapani is related to Vajrayana Buddhism. Then, अब एक और चीज है, ठीक है. There is a one more image which is depicted majority of the places in the painting form of Bodhisattva, that is Manjushri. So Manjushri, how is it depicted? That it is a image of that. The meaning of the Manjushri is the Buddha of the wisdom. Now suppose करो कि एक question पूछ लेते हैं that who of the following is Manjushri? Then and they give you the option Bodhisattva holding a lotus. Then they give you Bodhisattva holding a plant, Bodhisattva holding a book, Bodhisattva holding a spiritual bead. So who will be Manjushri? Book. Good. He is the Buddha of the wisdom, and what is indicative of the wisdom? Book. Then, so Manjushri often depicted with her some sort of book in the hand. So this could be one probable thing that we can talk about. Then इसके अलावा इसमें जो options mention है, just have a look at. Badami is also, so basically this is a mural painting which is there inside the Ajanta. And what is mural painting? The painting which is created on the walls is called as mural painting. Then understand, Ajanta के अंदर the mural paintings are Padmapani, Vajrapani and Flying Apsara and Dying Princess. So these are the 4 famous paintings of Ajanta: Flying Apsara and Dying Princess. Then Badami is in Karnataka, and in Karnataka this was patronized by the Chalukya rulers of the Karnataka, and the paintings of the Badami are based on the Lord Vishnu's tradition. Then, so it is based on Lord Vishnu's tradition, and then moreover some royal figures are also painted on the walls. Then Bagh is from the Gupta period, and Bagh is the area which is closer to Indore and on the banks of river Bagh. So this is purely Buddhist painting. Then, So here all the paintings, mural paintings are Buddhist. Then Ellora. So Ellora development started in the Gupta age, but actually completion of the Ellora has happened in the Rashtrakoot period. And Rashtrakutas were the rulers of the Karnataka and Maharashtra and some parts touching that Madhya Pradesh and then Rajasthan and going till the Kannauj in UP. So it was a kind of a big line which is starting from the Kannauj in UP and going till the entire Karnataka. So now understand Rashtrakutas, that their contribution in Ellora, Ellora is in Maharashtra. So they created the Kailasnath temple, and they also created many such Hindu premises of the that particular place, Ellora caves. And moreover, their painting is more based on Hinduism rather than Buddhism. Okay? So their painting is also dedicated to Lord Vishnu, and one of the very famous image of theirs which is surviving is Lord Vishnu is riding on his vehicle, and vehicle is Garud. Then, so his vehicle is Garud and his resting place is Kshir Sagar. But then what is the name of the Seshnag? Okay? So he is resting on Seshnag, but he rides on the Garud. Then the well-known painting Bani Thani belongs to, it is also not a, if you go with the normal sources, you can easily do it. So Bani Thani is considered, it was considered as the best painting of the pre-British India. And moreover, it painting is depiction of the Indian bride. Then, so depiction of the Indian bride with the Indian jewelry, then that necklace, pendant, then earrings, then finger rings, then waistband. And moreover, it is depiction of the love subject of Raja Savant Singh of Kishangarh. Then, so Kishangarh is a place which is closer to Ajmer. शताब्दी भी जाती है, शताब्दी है ना ट्रेन का नाम, ठीक है हाँ. तो basically it is closer to Ajmer, and it was known for the famous painting style of the Kishangarh, which was developed by one of the painter of the Raja Savant Singh of Kishangarh. His name was Nihal Chand. Let's understand few more things about the Kishangarh painting. So Bani Thani belongs to Kishangarh, but Kishangarh में other things are exaggeration of the physical features. Then कि थोड़ा बढ़ा चढ़ा के दिखाना bodily features को. So for example, that they will depict a sharp nose, then sharp chin. So sharp nose, sharp chin, then apart from it, that fingers would be long, and then apart from it, eyebrows would be thin but very long. Sometimes eyebrows are depicted outside, going outside the margins of the face. Then body will have slender curve. But then whatever be the exaggeration in this style, जो भी बढ़ाना चढ़ाना, it looks very beautiful. And some of the people earlier, they do compared this particular Bani Thani image with the Mona Lisa also. Okay? That sees Mona Lisa of India. But see that bringing a British angle or European angle, it has been the casualty of the history of the Indian historians, who are more of a buttering figure than the rational figures. So understand, एक बहुत simple सी बात है, ठीक है? Who was earlier? Just tell me, ठीक है? That who was earlier, Samudragupta first or Napoleon? ठीक है? But then what Indian historians, हिंदी में एक word है मैं use करना चाहूँगा, चाटुकारिता. समझते हो ना? तो एक कहावत है ना कि ब्रिटिश तो चले गए बट ब्रिटानिया बिहेवियर छोड़ गए. So that's how many people behave like in this way. And what Indian historians after the India's independence wrote about Samudragupta, that he was the Napoleon of India. Napoleon comes 1800 के around में, 17 after his popularity increased after 1789. And when was Samudragupta? 335 to 375 was his rule. So there is almost more than 1300 years of the difference, and then you call Napoleon as, better call Napoleon as the Samudragupta of the France. It will be better terminology. Then, but then ये हमारे ऊपर थोप दिया जाता है, ठीक है? And we in a normal that stages of our classroom teaching, that is class 6 में, class 7 में, when we are reading, so we do the rectification of it, and that's what we replicate. We need to change it, and you need to change it with the assertiveness. So over here, that Mona Lisa, there is no difference. You can differ from me, but when I see, मेरे को एक मिनट hold करो, I'll show you the Bani Thani's image. Then just give me a little bit of time. So you'll get to know, and then you can compare. Is it not working? It works well in it. चलो, when we get time ना, अभी open हो जाएगा तो I'll show you, ठीक है? Meanwhile, let's go with this one. So when you see the image, Bunny Thani, and on the other hand Mona Lisa painting technique is good, but then very different. Both are very different. And I to feel that ki Mona Lisa, that people say that there is a mystery in the Mona Lisa's image, but then I don't see her smiling or even happy or even sad. Then many mysteries that people bring it in the image, I don't see in it. Then moreover, it seems to be a very dull image to me. But then Bunny Thani's image, if you see, so you'll feel good about it. Then तो यहाँ पे जो mention है ना, that this image which is there, it's not the complete image. Actually, there is a very beautiful image. So this is Raja Savant Singh, and then on the other hand, she is depicted. So कांगड़ा स्कूल, जयपुर स्कूल, बूंदी स्कूल, these all are, अब चलो एक और चीज बता रहा हूँ, these all school which are mentioned related to painting, they all are the Rajput schools, ठीक है? That Rajput paintings which started to develop after Aurangzeb started to discourage paintings in his area. So the painters who were there in the Aurangzeb's court, they started flooding, escaping to the regional kingdoms of the Pahadi areas, then and so as the Rajasthan. So Jaipur and Kishangarh in Rajasthan, Kangra is in Himachal, and Bundi is also, so Bundi state where? Rajasthan, ठीक है? So Bundi state, Rajasthan. So these are, and in fact Kota Bundi कभी कभी साथ में जाता है, ठीक है? And Kota Bundi area is called as, तो suppose कभी change कर दिया, Hardoti painting. तो what is Hardoti? Area of Kota and Bundi in Rajasthan is called as Hardoti. And Hardoti or Bundi area is one of the most greenest area of the Rajasthan. It is known for the lush green vegetation, and so as the wild animals used to be more in the Bundi area. So Kota Bundi ke painting mein what you will see, you will see animals then and human beings hunting the animals. So that is depicted. Jaipur mein the royal scenes are depicted. Then Kangra is a Himachal Valley, and Kangra painting is also GI tag thing. तो Kangra painting में क्या है? That it is a combination of embroidery and painting, very unique. Embroidery and painting, कढ़ाई, and then दूसरे side में painting. And moreover, generally they do this on the cotton cloth. Or this Kangra painting is a material of the gift during marriage और सेलिब्रेशन इन द फैमिली. जैसे शादी हुई तो कोई गिफ्ट अगर जो हो रहा है तो दैट इज कवर्ड, रैप्ड विद द कांगड़ा पेंटिंग और कांगड़ा क्लॉथ, and that's how it is exchanged. So that is their traditional thing also. It's not just a painting, but their traditional thing also, which is used in the rituals. Then let's come to who among the following Mughal emperors shifted emphasis from illustrated manuscripts to album and individual portrait. So album you already know, ठीक है, कि book form, that album form, उसमें एक एक पन्ने पे एक एक image होगा. And what was manuscript? Manuscript was a single painting then, but very small scale painting. So let's focus on the word individual portrait. Then what is portrait? I'll tell you, ठीक है. Portrait is that it's very easy to understand. In our new phones, मतलब in modern age, when we open our cameras, so cameras में एक mode होता है portrait mode, and we all know what is the function of the portrait mode. Suppose that if this entire class picture is clicked, but then you are emphasized, then तो तुम्हारी picture clear आएगी, बाकी लोग blur हो जाएंगे. Then that is the portrait mode. So portrait mode, obviously when Jahangir was there, so then there was no camera. But then it is called as inspiration. It is Jahangir's initiative which is considered as inspiration behind the portrait technique. So initially portrait technique cameras mein, what was the name? DSLR. I hope you must have heard. So DSLR techniques were there, but then with the invention of the Carl Zeiss cameras, then that portrait mode came in the telephones also, okay, or mobile phones also. So it was Jahangir who was the patronizer of this one. In fact, Jahangir himself was a great painter of that time, and Jahangir mainly focused on creating flora and fauna. What is flora? Plants, vegetables, ठीक है, or not vegetables, flowers, then trees, these all things, and fauna, animals. And his favorite animals generally used to be the birds, then so pheasants, kabutar, then turkey. So these all. So he painted so many birds. Then apart from it, when it comes to architectural initiative of that time, so Jahangir took less architectural initiative. Instead, her wife Noor Jahan has taken more of the architectural initiative, and Jahangir involved himself in the painting. Then, so that is one such thing. He was one of the greatest painter. And rahi baat Humayun ke time pe, so there was actually nothing happened in the sector of the painting. Only thing that Humayun brought two famous painters from Persia. That is Mir Abdul Samad and Mir Sayyid Ali. So this is only thing. Then Akbar ke time pe Karkhana of the painting was created, and realism was depicted in the painting. Then Shah Jahan's time, so Jahangir time was the climax of the Mughal painting, and Shah Jahan time, though the painting continued, but it became more artificial. So realism was the feature in the Akbar time, that real scenes, real things were depicted. But Shah Jahan ke time pe aate Shah Jahan had overt and covert love towards the gold. So every painting he wanted hell lot of gold and silver to be depicted. That's how it diluted the realism. Then, so continued, but then it was not the climax. Climax was the Jahangir. Then, अब इस साल question लिख के रख लो, you are going to get from this. Which one of the following was given classical language status recently? Now understand. 2014 में exactly same question with no change, with the same options it was given, and 2015 next year वापस से repeat कर दिया. ठीक है? So the language which was given was the Odia in 2014. So let's talk about the languages. So basically that classical language is generally declared by the Sahitya Academy, which is a government of India body. And what are the criterias? So criterias, कम से कम 1500 से, that initial criterias were that it must have 1500 to 2000 years of the recorded history. Then that whatever be that literature, it is important from one generation to another generation, meaning that my father also was reading it, and I am also reading it, and I am passing it to my children who will also read it. So which is passing on from one generation to another generation, मतलब relevance खत्म नहीं हुआ है, ठीक है? Then it is also said that it must be original. You understand what is original? It must not be borrowed from somewhere else. Then, so it must not be, the tradition of the literature must not be borrowed from somewhere else, it must be original. मतलब वहीं का होना चाहिए, कहीं से लाया हुआ नहीं. So for example, I don't know, मतलब you know or not, many of the talents, so if you see na, so people often come and they say कि this is my original song. Original song मतलब that they have written the song and they are singing the song. They have not singing Lata Mangeshkar song, Kishore Kumar song, meaning that is borrowed song that you are singing. So over here also that is original, their own literature. So counting these all features, that classical status, when Sahitya Academy is satisfied, so it gives the classical status. So very first language, though tradition wise सबसे पहले तो संस्कृत को देना चाहिए था, but why Tamil was given in 2004? Because actually it is the Tamil people who created a movement that Tamil language must be given classical status. There are two languages in the European part of the world which were given classical status. That was Greek and Latin. Then, तो उसके बाद से they were saying that in Tamil Nadu it all started. So government of India constituted a committee, and then finally it was decided that it would be given classical status. But government also realized that Sanskrit is also, it is older than any language tradition, and then it has a wide body of literature followed by, so example wise अगर Sanskrit ही लेते हैं, which is common to all of us, then even Tamil speakers also. So Sanskrit में Vedas, ठीक है, there are more than 3,000 years old, 3,500 years old, but the relevance of the Veda continues till this time. What mantras my father knew, he has transferred to me, I'll transfer to next generation, they will transfer to, that's how it has happened from last 3,500 years. Then it is not a borrowed tradition, it is original tradition. So that's how Sanskrit was given in 2005, immediately it was given the classical status. Then was given Kannada के बाद Telugu, then Malayalam, and then was Odia. तो यहाँ पे साइड में what I have written, ये पिछले हफ्ते का न्यूज़ है, ठीक है? So these 5 languages have been given classical status. So Marathi, Pali, Prakrit, Assamese and Bengali. So Marathi, Pali, Prakrit, Assamese and Bengali, and it was expected अगर जो उड़िया को classical status दे दिया है तो this one will also get, ठीक है. Bengali is also very closer to the Odia, and then when Bengali is given classical status, so Assamese language is also very closer to Bengali. Then so it was expected कि हाल फिलहाल में they would be given the status, and Pali Prakrit are already very old languages of India from the time of the Buddha and the Mahavir, and Marathi is also a very old language. Actually जब language literature के class में आओगे तो then I'll teach you that Marathi actually emerged from the Prakrit itself. Then so it has emerged from the Prakrit itself, and that too it is more than 2000 years old. So the original version of the Marathi is called as Maharashtri Prakrit, then from which it emerged. Then so these languages, अब इसमें expect करना कि there would be a question definitely. अब इसमें कुछ new type, if I believe that कि कुछ new question if they can ask, so they can ask you that which of the following, ठीक है, from the following list, which of the following are classical languages from the Indo-Aryan group. ये question हो सकता है, Indo-Aryan group. So Indo-Aryan group में would be Sanskrit, then Odia, then Marathi, then Assamese, Bengali, then Pali and Prakrit we don't keep in any in these categories. Then so you have to identify. अब ये classification you'll be studying in the language literature classes. Indo-Aryan group of languages, Dravidian group of languages, then Sino-Tibetan meaning China and Tibet influenced languages, and then Austric languages which are basically tribal languages. So these are the 4 language families in India. How many of you have anthropology optional? किसी का है? कोई रख रहा है? Nobody. In anthropology you also read about that language families. Then तो expect a question from this one. ठीक है? आना चाहिए, बिल्कुल आना चाहिए और आएगा भी. Then let's go on to the next question. यही वो same question is repeated. Then so now with reference to, ठीक है, fine. तो let me, हाँ, is it visible? Fine. With reference to cultural history of India, the memorizing of chronicles, dynastic histories and epic tales was the profession of who of the following? अब देखो, I told you ना that Shramana has been asked in the right option and the wrong option many a time. पीछे भी हमने श्रमणा पढ़ा था और परिव्रजक पढ़ा था, बट ये क्वेश्चन उससे पुराना है जो हमने पिछला डिस्कशन किया था. तो इफ यू नो हु आर द श्रमणास एंड द परिव्रजक यू कैन एलिमिनेट इट. देन हु आर श्रमणास? श्रमणा कल या परसों डिस्कशन किया था. व्हाट वाज इट? So they were basically that they were the people who were progressive, who were against the discriminatory practices of the Vedic age. And what were the discriminatory practices? Orthodox Vedic rituals, then dominance of the Brahmins, then indiscriminate animal sacrifice, deterioration of the position of the women and backwards in the society. तो ये वो लोग थे जो इसे अपोज कर रहे थे. These were the people who were opposing these things, and then moreover they wanted progressiveness in the society. So they are progressive section of society who are reformers actually. ठीक है? तो now first is eliminated. Parivrajak, last day we discussed. What was it? Homeless wanderer. And when you read Buddhism and Jainism, दोनों में we start our discussion that how Buddha and Mahavir have left their home. So what we mentioned about the Buddha and Mahavir, that they left their home and they became a parivrajak, meaning homeless wanderer. Then the parivrajak is a wanderer. What is agrahara? Kal padhaya tha. What is it? The land grant which is given to Brahmins. Then so Brahmadeya and agrahara were the land grants which were given to Brahmins. Now the last is Magad. Then it is not Magad. Magad होगा तो उसमें A नहीं होगा. ठीक है? It is Magad. Then so Magad, अब इसका नहीं पता है. ठीक है? तो rest of the 3 you have eliminated. Now you have got the answer. Then अब let me tell you, it was not a difficult question actually, because Shamana, Parivrajak, Agrahara, when you are reading ancient medieval history, even from the normal NCRTs also, कम से कम Shamana एक आध बार तुमको मिल जाएगा, परिव्रजक भी मिल जाएगा. बुद्धिज्म में श्रमणा एंड परिव्रजक आर ऑफन रिपीटेड. अग्रहरा तो मेनी अ टाइम्स यू विल फाइंड फ्रॉम द एंशिएंट टाइम टू द medieval time, that many a times when the rulers are gifting the villages to the Brahmins. In fact, हम इवन अग्रहरा हम लोग डिस्कशन करते हैं क्लासिकल डांस में ऑल्सो. कुचिपुड़ी में वी डिस्कस that rulers of the Vijayanagar and Golconda, they gifted the entire village known as Agrahara to the Brahmin dancers of the Kuchipudi. Then, so that is also there. तो एक ही बचता है, that is Magad. But then, as far as the source कि कहाँ पे in which book it is mentioned, so there is a one that graduation book of the Romila Thapar, Early India. Then, in Early India, page number 241 पे one small line was written that Magad were the people who were known for memorizing the chronicles, dynastic history and the epic tales. एक line बस लिखा हुआ है. And if you look at that book of the Romila Thapar, तो it's a bulky book, ठीक है? And the font is very small. Then font is actually very small. मेरी तो आँख बचपन से ही खराब है, तो I was like that कि when I was reading that book तो मुझे लगता था कि मैग्नीफाइंग लेंस लेके पढ़ना चाहिए. तो that is mentioned. Obviously you can't matlab run after those, but you look at UPSC, beauty of UPSC exam that it gives you option कि these पहला जो तीन है, these are the strategic information. That's what we emphasize कि strategic facts याद होना चाहिए. Then only you will be able to derive the answer of a difficult question. If you don't remember the strategic fact, so then it is a difficult question. So this is a moderate category, but depends on the strategic facts. Then आगे के टाइम पे कभी भी any of it is repeated in the options, then you will in a comfortable position. Let's move on to the next one. So literature say, as I mentioned last 5 years, UPSC has focused a lot on literature. Literature से काफी question पूछा है. So literature you have to prepare in a better way. और एक और काम करना, try to prepare literature in a story format. So it will take one time affair. हो सकता है पहली बार पढ़ने में थोड़ा time लगे. But then you will be able to remember the story, and from the story you will always be able to remember the name and the writer and the theme and these all. So let's understand this one. Which one of the following books of the ancient India has the love story of the son of the founder of the Sunga dynasty? So who was the founder of Sunga dynasty? Pushyamitra Sunga. He killed the last Maurya ruler Brihadrath in 185. And moreover, the reason of the killing that he was not satisfied. He obviously he has aspiration to become the ruler. He was a cabinet minister, but then he was not satisfied with the overtly contribution patronage to the Buddhist by Mauryas. After eliminating Brihadrath, he founded the Sunga dynasty and he revived the Vedic rituals in Magad. So Vedic rituals, Vedic sacrifices, everything. Let me tell you one more thing. The high priest or the chief priest of the Pushyamitra Sunga was Patanjali. Take it? So was Patanjali, and under the guidance of Patanjali, he convened a Ashwamedha Yajana also. So Ashwamedha Yajana, I hope you have read. कुछ तो आइडिया है, ठीक है? मतलब इतना मैं महसूस तो कर सकता हूँ कि इतना पढ़ा होता है, but then still some of you have just started. तो तुम्हारे कोर्सेज में कंप्लीट होगा whenever ancient and medieval would be there. So it's a kind of a ritual sacrifice which is related to the horse is let loose to venture into other territory. If the other king is not capturing him, so then that territory belongs to the Ashwamedha king. So Ashwamedha Yajana was performed by him under the guidance of the Patanjali, and the inscription which mentions about Pushyamitra Sunga's Ashwamedha Yajana is the Ayodhya inscription. Okay? So Ayodhya inscription. Let's come to the next part. His son was Agnimitra Shunga, and his love story is very beautiful. It was actually written by Kalidas only. Then, so it is one of the famous creations of the Kalidas. What is the love story? That Agnimitra Shunga, okay? So then already married, he's the ruler. Then what happens that one fine day, one very beautiful lady comes for seeking work in his kingdom. Then the queen has given him the work, her the work, okay? And she has become the handmaiden of the king. Handmaiden, you understand? The ladies who prepare the queens in bathing, okay? Then wearing the clothes and then bal banana, okay? Makeup and everything. So she became the handmaiden of the queen. So obviously she will be all the time she will be with the queen. Agnimitra Shunga has seen her, and then day by day, he was enamored by her beauty, and then he was getting infatuated. He fell in love with the handmaiden. And one fine day, he has said to the queen that those were the times that people did not, they were not hiding their love. Done. And one more reason that polygamy was practiced, कि एक राजा के 2-3 पत्नियां हो सकती थी. So then what happened that one fine day he confided to the queen कि I'm in love with this handmaiden. I want to get married with her. She was out of her world because obviously a queen, and then out of the world, and she was like that कि दुनिया में कोई और लड़की नहीं मिली तुम्हें. So then what happened? So she fired her from the services. Then she fired her. Raja was not knowing, and then when he came to know, so he was very sad. He was not interested in administration, anything. He was not doing. All the time he is lost in the khayal of that handmaiden. Then the Rani was like that. She felt that chalo he has, this has happened. But then as a practical knowledge, she tried that if he gets married to some other beautiful royal family, then beautiful lady from the royal family, maybe he will come to the senses, and then he will be taking interest in the administration. So she is the one who is searching for the most beautiful lady in the adjoining kingdoms. Now she got to know that there is a beautiful princess from the Vidisha. And then so she has sent that one such proposal that she can get married to Agnimitra Shunga. So now proposal was accepted by the kingdom of the Vidisha, and then Agnimitra Shunga was compelled by the queen that he must get married to that lady. He was not ready. Then she somehow kind of that persuaded him that he must agree to at least see her, because she is very beautiful, and at least एक बार देख तो लो, बाद में भले मना कर देना. So when the moment Agnimitra Shunga has gone to meet, the name of the princess was Malvika, and Malvika was the handmaiden itself. So actually the story, now it goes back. She has known about Agnimitra Shunga from very long. And many occasions she has secretly seen him and fighting the battle. So she wanted that kind of a smart personality and the warrior kind of the attribute. So she has fallen in love with Agnimitra Shunga without his notice, and just to be with him, to develop that emotion of the love in him, she came as a handmaiden. So that's an interesting story. वैसे तो मूवी बनना चाहिए, लेकिन एक मूवी ऑलरेडी बन चुकी है. Not exactly like this story. Govinda's, what is the name? Hero number 1 or Coolie number? I don't know. कोई तो है एक, मतलब where he goes as a kind of a servant in the house of the lady. So anyways, so this is the Malvika Agnimitra is the love story. Then Swapna Vasav Dutt was written by Bhas. आगे एक क्वेश्चन आने वाला है जिसमें I'll discuss. मेघदूत was poem of the Kalidas, ठीक है? And Meghdut was the poem of the Kalidas. So people get confused कि Meghdut is related to the son of the Ravan Meghdut. It is not. Meghdut is a poem in which Kalidas, that in this particular poem, he is sending love letter through cloud. ठीक है? तो Megh is Doot. Cloud is the messenger. So that is what is this one. And Ratnavali was written by Harshvardhan. Then, so Pushyabhuti king Harshvardhan. So these are, it was easy question. Very easy. Then, अब यहाँ पे आ जाओ. What we mentioned, Patanjali was the chief priest of the, हाँ. So 2016 का question वो था, नहीं 2016 नहीं 2016, हाँ 16, what was that? Where we mentioned Patanjali, कहीं mention किया था मैंने अभी हाल फिलहाल में. चलो anyways, हाँ previous question में I mentioned about it. Then, so let's go into it. Now understand. So अब देखो इसमें with reference to the scholars and literatures of ancient India, let me expand it little bit so that you can see. So with reference to the scholars and literatures of ancient India, consider the following statement. Pardini is associated with Pushyamitra Sunga. Who is associated? Patanjali. Pardini was 400 साल पहले before Patanjali. So it 400 sorry that 200 साल पहले. So that there is a 250 years difference, and in the realm of the literature I need to tell you what is the major creation of the Pardini. Ashtadhyayi. What is Ashtadhyayi? Sanskrit grammar book. Okay? It is the first book of the Sanskrit grammar. And then the second important book of the Sanskrit grammar is Mahabhashya. Who wrote Mahabhashya? Patanjali. Then, so Patanjali wrote Mahabhashya. Ashtadhyayi was written by Pardini, and moreover, what is there in the Mahabhashya? So Mahabhashya is a commentary on Pardini's Ashtadhyayi. What is commentary? Further explanation of the Pardini's Ashtadhyayi. Then, so that is what is this one. Okay? So Amar Simha is associated with Harshvardhan, and Kalidas is associated with Chandragupta II. Now listen. It is the Gupta ruler Chandragupta II, who was also known as Vikramaditya, and he is the one who maintained 9 luminaries in his court, and later on Akbar followed the same model. So who all were the important luminaries in the Chandragupta II court? So Chandragupta II court important luminaries were Kalidas and Amar Simha, Vararuchi, then and Varamihir, Dhanvantari. So they were the important luminaries. Now, who was Amar Simha? So when we talk about Sanskrit grammar, the Sanskrit grammar mein pehli kitab, first book is the Pardini's Ashtadhyayi. Second important book is the Mahabhashya written by Patanjali, which is commentary on Pardini's Ashtadhyayi. And third important book is the Amar Kos written by Amar Simha, who was the courtier of the Chandragupta II. And what is Amar Kos? Amar Kos is the lexicography of the Sanskrit. What is lexicography? The book in which the vocab of the Sanskrit is given. What is vocab? The words, okay? Different Sanskrit words. And moreover, I just want to use one Sanskrit term, that Amar Kos, not only it mentions the words and their meanings, but it's also Vyutapatti. What is Vyutapatti? The origin of a particular Sanskrit word, that how it has originated. So that's what these 3 books, hamesha yaad rakhna, when it comes to the Sanskrit grammar, the 3 books are the most important. First, Ashtadhyayi, second, Mahabhashya, and third, Amar Kos. Then, or sequence mein hai. Then, Kalidas is associated with the Chandragupta II. That's a, so sirf kaun sa option correct hai? That is the third one. Second is Harshvardhan. Who was in the, that any Sanskrit poet or the playwright who was in the court of the Harshvardhan? Any idea? Because देखो जब भी history पढ़ते हो तो history में भी often mention about the court poets. You are saying right. Ban Bhatt, ठीक है? So Ban Bhatt was the court poet of Harshvardhan, and Ban Bhatt wrote the biography of the Harshvardhan, which is known as Harsh Charit, ठीक है? So Harsh Charit, and Ban Bhatt की एक और किताब थी Kadambari, and so Kadambari and Harsh Charit are 2 famous creations of the Ban Bhatt, who was the court poet of the Harshvardhan. So now let's go on to the next part, or understand what is important in the literature part. एक बार फिर से emphasize कर रहा हूँ. So if you are starting little early or you are not in the classes, those who are outside the classes, Sanskrit literature अच्छे से पढ़ना, Jain and Buddhist literature and Tamil literature. These 4 literature are most important. इसके अलावा जो भी literature है, that is not more important, but these 4 literature are most important. Then, and Tamil literature is more important for the mains examination, but Buddhist, Jain and Sanskrit literature is more important for the prelims examination. Okay? So let's go on to the next part. Just give me time. Then, with reference to the history of ancient India, Bhavabhuti, Hastimalla, Chemeshwara were famous. We'll tell you. People said that question was difficult. I would say that apply your mind, go analytical, you can always solve this question. So what was difficult in it? As per the normal resources in the UPSC, everybody must know Bhavabhuti, okay, and his books. What was difficult in this part was Hastimalla and Chemeshwara. These two people, Hastimalla and Chemeshwara, are not mentioned in any of NCRTs, even Romila Thapar, even A.L. Basam, where it is mentioned in bits and pieces. One information was there in the Upinder Singh and one is altogether not there. Done. So when it comes to, so how to solve this question? Now understand Bhavabhuti. He is a more celebrated writer than from the Sanskrit. And what are the famous books of the Bhavabhuti? इसमें एक possible question भी बता रहा हूँ that I expect that UPSC must ask. Then, so let me write one part of it that related to Bhavabhuti. So Bhavabhuti important books. Just give me 1 minute. What has come? Edit. Then fine. So there are famous books of the Bhavabhuti is Uttaramacharit, then Mahavir Charit, and then Malti Madhav. Now understand. Last day you asked that कि book would be useful or not. I have written from the perspective कि तुम्हें story मिल जाए. And once you know the story, you will be able to solve the question. As मतलब I must not be doing this exercise, but then just telling you what is the difference with already existing books in the market. That just a information that Uttaramcharit was written by Bhavabhuti, Mahavir Charit was written by Bhavabhuti. Okay, that's it. But then the questions in last 10 years, what we are seeing that it is more based on the theme. If you know little bit of story, so जब story पता होगा तो जैसे मालविकाग्नि मित्र, you can solve it with the story, not without it. लोगों ने मतलब what has been mentioned in the normal books, मालविकाग्नि मित्र was written by Kalidas, but question में कहीं पूछा कि कालिदास की कौन सी किताब है? So they are asking about the themes. So now, can you make a guess on the basis of this name which has been mentioned? So Uttaramacharit में क्या कहानी होनी चाहिए? Yes? Lord Ram. And Mahavir Charit? What? Lord Mahavir. ठीक है? Who is Mahavir? Yes? Jain. ठीक है? So Vardhaman Mahavir. This is what? If UPSC asks this question now, I believe 99% of the people will go wrong. Then Bhavabhuti was the devotee of the Lord Ram, and both the books are based on Lord Ram. Then so Uttaramacharit, okay, and Mahavir Charit. Mahavir Charit is the early life of the Lord Ram. But the initial part of his life, his birth, okay, his legends in the beginning, that how he is killing those demons and everything. So that is the early life story of the Lord Ram, and Uttaramacharit is the second half of the life story of the Lord Ram. Then, so that is Uttaramacharit and Mahavir Charit. पूरी स्टोरी मैंने उसमें मेंशन की है बुक में, ठीक है? तो इट इज जस्ट अ वन रीड, जस्ट लाइक कि कोई डॉक्यूमेंट्री देखते हो या 1 मिनट की कोई यूट्यूब वीडियो देखते हो, तो जस्ट लाइक दैट इन 1 मिनट इटसेल्फ यू कैन रीड द स्टोरी एंड देन यू विल नेवर फॉरगेट इट. तो एक दिमाग में चलेगा कि अरे जैसे फर्स्ट टाइम व्हेन आई ऑल्सो रीड, मेरे सामने जब महावीर चरित आया तो परसेप्शन तो यही होता है कि इट इज अबाउट द वर्धमान महावीर, बट दैट्स हाउ यूपीएससी विल गिव यू एंड देन वी विल गो इन दैट डायरेक्शन. तो हियर महावीर इज लॉर्ड राम हिमसेल्फ एंड हिज अर्ली लाइफ, and Malati Madhav is the love story of the Malati and Madhav. That story also I have mentioned. So I have tried that कि पढ़ने में थोड़ा मतलब ज़्यादा stories हैं, but stories are useful. Then तो go through the stories, you will solve the difficult question. अब एक काम करो, अब ये इसी question को मैं छोटा कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है? Now understand. So you got to know Bhavabhuti and he is writing on the Lord Ram. Will he be a Jain monk? No. ठीक है? So with reference to ancient India, Bhavabhuti, Hastimalla were famous. So he is writing the plays. These are the plays. Then so he is not a Jain monk. Was he a temple architect? He is not a philosopher. Then so when you see philosophy, जैसे कैसे eliminate कर सकते हो philosophy? तो जब हम फिलोसफी पढ़ाते हैं या फिर तुम भी अगर जो किसी सोर्स से पढ़ते हो, तो एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम वी टॉक अबाउट द टू टाइप्स ऑफ द फिलोसफी इन इंडिया, orthodox philosophy, heterodox philosophy. Orthodox, it's a very simple equation. Orthodox philosophy includes Sankhya Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisesika, Mimamsa, Vedanta. And then heterodox philosophy includes Charvaka, Jivika, Buddhism and Jainism. Let's talk about the Sankhya. Sankhya was founded by Kapil Muni. Then Yoga was founded by Patanjali. Then next one is the Nyaya. Nyaya was founded by Akshapada Gautam. Then Vaisesika was founded by Kannad, whose name was also Alukya. Then Mimamsa by Jaimini. And Vedanta. So Vedanta originally founded by Badrayan, but the most famous philosophies in Vedanta are Advaitavad by Sankaracharya and Visishta Advait by Ramanujacharya. So you don't find Bhavabhuti or any of it in these names. लुक एट द अदर साइड, सोचो, मतलब दिमाग लगाना कि क्या कॉपी में लिखा हो या क्या किताब में पढ़ा है फिलोसफीज में. सो देन देयर यू टॉक दैट, जस्ट थिंक अबाउट चरवाक फिलोसफी वाज फाउंडेड बाय चरवाक. Then Ajivika philosophy was founded by Makhaliputra Gosala, and Buddhist philosophy by Buddha. And then there are many people in Buddhism, but then here over normal fact. So, and Jain philosophy by Mahavir Charit. So they are obviously not the philosopher, and temple architects playwright तो हो नहीं सकते. So then what is remaining is, that is the playwright. So this way हस्तिमल्ला या क्षेमेश्वरा नहीं भी जानते हो, if you don't know at all, you know about भावभूति, तो you can solve this question. ठीक है. भावभूति was a Sanskrit playwright, that's what we write, and then we write about his books. तो जब पता है कि he was a Sanskrit playwright, तो सब तीनों साथ में हैं, तो all of them would be the same thing. Then तो this is, you need to have in this type of the questions, first instance पे it will seem difficult to you. What you do, take a deep breath, ठीक है, रुक जाओ, rather than leaving the question, take a deep breath and just एक दिमाग में एक मतलब determination रखो, let's see कि किसी और तरीके से हो जाना चाहे, let's try, let's look at the each and every word with a pause, थोड़ा सा time दे दो and then look at it. सेकेंड इंस्टांस में डेफिनेटली यू विल बी एबल टू सॉल्व इट. देन तो पहली बार पढ़ के छोड़ मत देना, ट्राई वंस अगेन. देन सो लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट. योग वशिष्ठ was translated into Persian by Nizamuddin Panipati in the reign of, so let me tell you, if you not just a योग वशिष्ठ, इसका आंसर सिंपल है, but then obviously they can ask, but then as we are seeing कि previous year questions and the surrounding information around it becomes the base of the next year question. So let's look at the Mughal period. Akbar was he was regarded as the best of all the Mughal rulers, and moreover he was known for his good governance. Moreover, Akbar's closer association with the Hindu chiefs is all based on his birth story itself. He was born in the Rajput kingdom of Amarkot in Rajasthan, and his life was saved because of that from Sahasesa Suri. So he was indebted, and later on he established a very cordial relationship with the Rajput rulers. Then even matrimonial relationship was also established. So Akbar, in many ways, during his tenure, he was interested in the synthetic culture of India, be it his architecture, be it his painting, or be it his religious thing. As far as the religious part of Akbar is concerned, so Akbar, he created a place called Ibadat Khana. Ibadat Khana was meant for religious discussion and deliberation with the representatives of all religions, and where it was created, Fatehpur Sikri. But then Ibadat Khana, initially it was meant for discussion with only Islamic theologians. Akbar got frustrated with their discussions. He felt that they are so hedonist, meaning कि एक ही बात पे टिके हुए हैं, they are not changing. So he invited all the other religious people. Christianity was represented by Portuguese, and then Hindus and Jainas, and so as the Islam, Christianity, and Parsis even also were invited. Discussion started, and then what Akbar did, that he brought all the good elements from all the religions, and then he came up with his own theology, originally known as Tawhid-e-Ilahi, but later on it became popular Deen-e-Ilahi. Then, so that is Akbar. In the Akbar duration, Akbar one more part of his life I need to tell you, that Akbar was illiterate, people say. But why he was illiterate? That you need to know. He was not illiterate by choice, he was illiterate by compulsion. You understand what is illiterate by choice? कि मुझे पढ़ने का मन नहीं कर रहा, मैं नहीं पढ़ूंगा. That is illiterate by choice. He was illiterate by compulsion. And what was the compulsion? Akbar was dyslexic. You understand? It's a disease, dyslexia. So dyslexia, all these letters which are there on this board, if Akbar will be seeing it, so nothing will be visible to him. Maybe Prince is floating in that direction, Ram is floating in that direction, Vasist top. So all the letters would be floating in the air. That is dyslexia. अगर जो नहीं पता है तो just look at initial part of the movie तारे ज़मीन पर. Have you heard about that movie? So the बच्चा kid who is the protagonist of the movie, he is dyslexic. तो माँ बाप को पता नहीं होता and they are always very harsh on him that he is not performing good. तो Akbar, so since he was dyslexic, what he did that from his early life only, he made it compulsory on the other people that somebody must be reading books to him. Then, so all the time there were somebody who were reading books to Akbar, and that's how Akbar had much more knowledge of the Indian mythology tradition than any other ruler, because he was so interested in listening then. And that's how Akbar was interested in the story. One of his famous interesting story that he liked all the time was the adventures of the uncle of the Prophet Muhammad, Amir Hamza. Then so Akbar, since he loved this story, so he said to painters of his time that translate that story in a painting book. So it was translated in a painting book. He loved it a lot. Then the second story that he liked was Ramayana and Mahabharata. So he said कि Mahabharata must be translated into painting. So a painting was created, Razmanama, which was totally based on Mahabharata. So each and every episode of Mahabharata is in a painting form. Then he also instructed that one more popular book in India, text in India, Tuti Nama, basically stories of the parrots. Then so parrots used to tell stories of that time. So that was also translated. So Akbar initiated this system whereby the popular Indian literature must be translated into Persian. ठीक है? तो उसमें उस टाइम पे Shahjahan, ठीक है, who was not Shahjahan, sorry, Jahangir. Jahangir was Prince Salim and he was son of Jodha. ठीक है, so he has that two lineage, one the Rajput and another is the Mughal. So he was also interested in many of the books of that time. So he was just a kid, I think he was 15-16-year-old, when he commissioned this very famous book, Yog Vasishtha. So it is the story of the Vasishtha Rishi. One of the very famous Rishi in Hinduism, whose mention is there in the Vedic time. So the Yoga Vasishtha which was written, so he instructed to Panipat Nizamuddin to translate into the Persian. But then he is not the ruler whose timeline is there at that time, Akbar. Jahangir isme mention nahi hai, so answer would be Akbar. Then, and another question which I expect from this area, ye to chalo pooch liya, they can ask you question that what is the name of the place then where the Sanskrit literature of India was translated into Persian. So answer I'll write over here. Agar jo aaye, to I pray God that you must be in advantage. It was called as Maktab Khana. Then, so this is the place where Sanskrit, popular religious Sanskrit literature of India was translated into Persian language. Okay? Then, let's move on to next part. So as we said that what is Sangam literature? It is Tamil literature. So Tamil literature भी अच्छे से पढ़ना. And then once again I would say Tamil literature मतलब as I have seen मतलब what has been written, you will find in my text it's written in much better way. So you can use Tamil literature for both. I have written it from the perspective of both prelims and mains. So you can make a best use of it. So which one of the following statement about the Sangam literature in ancient South India is correct? Correct पूछा है, incorrect नहीं पूछा है. तो Sangam literature, let's listen a little bit about the Sangam literature first. So basically that at the time of the Ashoka, when he is the ruler in North India, there was emergence of the three dynasties in the South India, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and parts of Andhra, Karnataka. These three dynasties are Chera, Chola, and Pandyas. Then, so Cheras in Kerala, Pandyas in Madurai part, and Cholas in the Kanchipuram part of the Tamil Nadu. So these three dynasties are emerging. Then these three dynasties, their period is often called as Sangam period. Why they are called as Sangam period? Despite they being adversaries of each other, but then they were cooperating with each other in literature assemblies. So all of them were patronizing the literature assembly, and these literature assemblies were happening in around Madurai under the patronage or under the guidance of the Pandyas, but then cooperated by the Cholas and Cheras also. So three Sangam assemblies were held in between 200 BC to 400 AD के बीच में, and these three Sangam assemblies resulted into the compilation of the Tamil literature. Then, so this period is called as Sangam period, and the literature, Tamil literature, is called as Sangam literature. Now let's come to the questions के option. Sangam poems are devoid of any reference to material culture. Then, so here once again I will try to bring your focus to the part any. So why it is not functioning? So just look at the word any. It is also extreme word. ठीक है. And what is material culture? Material भी समझो, that what is material culture? Material culture is what, कि हमारी जो दिनचर्या की जिंदगी है, ठीक है. जैसे if I say that कि what is my material culture, coming to vision in the morning, 3 घंटे की सुबह की क्लास, 3 घंटे की दोपहर की क्लास, फिर उसके बाद दिन आज तारीख कौन सी है, 11 अक्टूबर, अरे यार सैलरी आने में अभी 20 दिन बाकी है. This is my material culture. Then I am going to market, purchasing the stuff. How come a literature will not refer to the daily things? Okay? And do you think that any period history is written, so in the history they don't mention about the life of the people? Okay? So this will be very vague thing. Okay? That no literature is devoid of material culture. सब लोग mention करते हैं. If literature does not refers to material culture, या लोग क्या करते थे उस time पे, तो what kind of literature is that? Then, so that is a very extreme statement. Then let's come to the social classification of Varna was known to Sangam poets. Then, तो यहाँ पे भी it is known to Sangam poets. I'll tell you the story. So that in the beginning, when the literature of India started to get compiled, अब ये story it depends कि your teachers will be teaching you or not, and depends on that कि कितनी मतलब रश में वो पढ़ा रहे हैं या दूसरा पता भी है या नहीं, ये भी एक बात है. बहुत लोगों को तो पता ही नहीं होता है. So Sanskrit has been instrumental, and Sanskrit tradition of the North and the Central India has been instrumental or inspiration to many of the literatures of the India, be it the southern part or be it the western part or eastern part. So one of the very important creation in the creation of India is the Ramayana and Mahabharata. And in fact, if you look at today's time, so in today's time, almost there are more than, if you start counting, there are 100 versions of Ramayana. Then, moreover, if you go little deeper into the study of the branches of Ramayana, so basically, when for the first time the information of the Ramayana was collated का मतलब समझ रहे हो? एक साथ एक पास लाना. So there were 3 recensions of Ramayana. Recension is a word I am using. What is it? Recensions. So there were 3 recensions of Ramayana. The one is called as Bombay, okay? And the other is called as the Bengal Ramayana, and the third is called as the Kasi Ramayana. Then, so तीनों अलग-अलग जगह पे मिले थे, ठीक है? And हिंदी में इनको बोलते हैं प्रतिसाख्य. So there were 3 प्रतिसाख्य of Ramayana, अलग-अलग time period में, and they are totally not related to each other. But all the 3 when they were collated, एक plus लाया गया, तो almost 90% of the story was same. Then, so that's how, मतलब it is said that Ramayana existed from the time immemorial, though it existed in the oral form, but it was something which was real on the basis of these recensions. Then, so now understand. So these recensions, understand that were there, they were found, and moreover, as per the Tamil tradition, they say that Sangam की story start कहाँ से होती है? तो they say that the famous Agastya Rishi, ठीक है, he came to Tamil area, and then after he is the one who initiated that what existed in the Sanskrit, he started to tell it in the Tamil. Then, and that's how the beginning of the Tamil literature happened. So when it comes to the Varna system, Varna was already, it became a reality around 900 BC. And which period? It is in the later Vedic period. Then, so it became a kind of a popular thing. So after that 900 BC, and when the Sangam dynasties are emerging around 200 BC, so will it be possible that there are so many incursions from North India to South it has happened? For example, that Maurya himself, Asoka himself has gone to this whole area and he has brought them under subordination, his subordination. So when Varna system is known at the time of Ashoka, so how come it will not be transferred to them? Then the Varna system was known in all over India after 900 BC. If you know this much information, तो आराम से इसको कर सकते हो. Social classification of Varna was known to Sangam poets. And by that time, what is Varna? Varna में क्या आता है? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Already this has been mentioned that there were the Brahmins class. Rishi Agastya himself was referred as Brahman. Then, so how come he is referred as Brahman, who is initiator of the Sangam literature, so Varna system is not known to them? Then, so that will be illogical. So answer to second pe hi mil gaya, but then let's look at the other also. Sangam poems have no reference to, no is also an extreme word. You will have to look at it. No reference to warrior ethic. So for example, Chola, Chera, Pandyas, बहुत ध्यान से एक बार question, actually ना, to solve a question, ask a question. There is a very famous book and it's a multi-millionaire sale, international bestseller. हिंदी में भी उसका version है. The name of the book is सवाल ही जवाब है. ठीक है? When you ask a question to the question, ठीक है, you get the answer. So understand, Sangam poems have no reference to warrior ethic. Warriors, so Chola, Chera and Pandyas, they became the kings without fighting. ठीक है? They became the kings without fighting. कोई warriorship थी ही नहीं. And then they had the warrior ethic. So warrior ethic, जैसे मान लो ये क्वेश्चन 2022 का है, ठीक है? I will take you to, जब तुम एनालाइज कर रहे हो, कल के दिन हम लोगों ने बात की थी ना कि यू हैव टू एनालाइज द थिंग. सो वॉरियर एथिक तो होगा ही, बट देन लेट्स लुक एट. सो वेन एवर सपोज दैट यू आर एनालाइजिंग इट, तो उसी टाइम पे एनालिसिस के टाइम यू यूज योर डिवाइसेस, द इंस्टांसेस ऑफ राइट इन योर गूगल, राइट इन योर दैट ऑनलाइन रिसोर्स, instances of the warrior ethics in the Sangam period. And that was the question of last year, 2023. What is it? यहीं पे discussion कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है? Just give me 1 minute. I'll just erase this part. So what was that warrior ethic? Vattikruttal. What is Vattikruttal? Understand. Vattikruttal is the practice in which if the rulers of the Sangam age, suppose Chera and Cholas are fighting, or Pandyas are fighting, suppose Pandyas got defeated. So when I got defeated from the Cholas, I have a warrior ethic, and what I will do, I will repent my defeat by installing my sword in the north direction. North is the direction of the death, Mahamrityunjaya direction, Lord Shiva, who is the Lord of the dead. So I will install my sword in the north and I will fast till death. Right? So एक कहावत है ना कि राजपूत के बीच में बहुत होता है कि पीठ दिखा के नहीं भागते हैं वो लोग. Same was there in the Sangam area also. That Sangam rulers, if they are defeated, they will not run from the battlefield, and if their life is saved, but their army is defeated, so they will kill themselves by practice of the Vattikruttal. ये question 2022 में, and then warrior ethic, and the warrior ethic was asked in 2023. So see that देखो good performance is not just about the resources in this particular section, is all about how well you're analyzing the past year paper. And I have seen n number of the people clearing the prelims exam in just 4 month preparation, and that too with the very good analysis. Then that they are good in analysis, they are looking into semantics of each and every word, you clear it. Then and prelims is a difficult stage, I would say this thing, क्योंकि अगर जो प्रीलिम्स क्लियर करने का मौका नहीं मिला तो लाख अच्छी प्रिपरेशन हो मेंस की कोई फायदा नहीं. All the time you will be in the cycle of the prelims preparation. And I have seen some of the people, I know one topper whose rank was in top 10, but then by his 4th attempt he was so frustrated, then so frustrated he was not able to clear a single prelims, then because of his attitude, aptitude, the way he was dealing with the prelims paper. Then and then somehow he has a good company, good people to keep him invested in the studies and the preparation. And then finally he was compelled to change his strategy, analyze the things. He cleared the prelims and actually very good marks he got in the 5th prelims, and he got a top 10 rank also. So mains की preparation तो अच्छी थी पर prelims नहीं clear हो रहा था. तो remember that only 1 out of the 6 balls in a over, only 1 ball you need to hit a 6. 5 भले डिफेंड कर लिया बट एक भी अच्छे से लगा दोगे तो मेंस का प्रिपरेशन ढंग से रहा तो क्लियर करोगे, बट प्रीलिम्स क्लियरिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो डू दिस एक्सरसाइज एंड आई होप कि जहाँ इसमें जितने लोग तुम लोग सीरियस हो, ठीक है. This information of the discussion of any paper has gone to many people, previous year के बैच और इस ईयर के बैच. But then obviously they must be evaluating कि इससे कोई फायदा नहीं होना है, ये सब नहीं होना है, तो ठीक है. But then if you are attending these sessions now, do this exercise. Don't keep yourself in the domain कि you're not going to clear the exam in the first attempt itself, you'll clear it. Then let's come to the third one. Sangam literature refers to magical forces as irrational. Irrational, you understand कि कोई rationality नहीं है. That any of the literature of the past India, they don't say that magic is irrational. In fact, if we look deeper into the aspect of the magic itself can be said as the rational. So for example, let me tell you one good example. Then good example, आगे हो सकता है वो question आ भी जाए. तानसेन वाला question आया था क्या? Did we discuss last day? I think we did not discuss. So maybe it will come later. I'll tell you. There is Tansen was the famous singer in the Akbar's court, and moreover that Tansen said to be unparalleled. He was the 9 gems of the Akbar's court. It is said that he has those magical powers to sing those songs. Then, so for example, that it is said that Deepak Rag, that historically or mythologically, what is said that Deepak Rag, if it is sung in a good way, the lamps and diyas which are kept in the environment, अगर जो बर्न नहीं हो रहा है तो दीपक राग अच्छे से गाया जाए तो वो बर्न हो जाएंगे. देन दैट्स देयर. देन मेघ राग, इफ somebody is having expertise in it, so he can do the rain happen. Then now you understand, in the realm of the medieval and the ancient, this is called as magic, but in today's time it will be called as science. I'll tell you example. So how rain happens? What is the real phenomenon of the rain? Clouds are there, cloud formation, you know. But rain happens because of the certain resonance. Then, so those resonance it happens. Then, the resonance, if happens in the right way, rains can happen. The precipitation will start. The cloud will start precipitating. So, what was the idea of the Meghrag? That to bring the same kind of frequencies which are there, which can resonate with the clouds, and the rain can happen. So, if Tansen is doing it, so then it is called as magic. And in today's time, वेरी गुड एग्जाम्पल, इसी ईयर जनवरी की बात है, ठीक है. दैट यू ऑल नो अबाउट द दुबई, मतलब सबको पता है मिडिल ईस्ट में बारिश नहीं होती है, बारिश सिर्फ जनवरी में होती है लिटिल बिट, ठीक है, वेस्टर्लीज की वजह से. बट देन सिंस दीज आर द बिगेस्ट टूरिस्ट स्पॉट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड एंड मोर ओवर व्हाट दे डू, सो दे डू दैट टू ब्रिंग मोर ग्रीनरी देन and then a little bit of more happening things over there in UAE, they do create artificial rain. What is artificial rain? Clouds तो होते हैं ऊपर हमेशा, silver iodide, ठीक है. So cloud seeding, and with the cloud seeding इतना बारिश हुआ कि उनके malls के अंदर, airports के अंदर it was, लोग boat चला रहे थे. Then मतलब so much of water. So now you do the cloud seeding, so you say it as a science. But then If somebody is doing it with the resonance, that is called as magic. Then, so in fact, there is always a scientific base. Then I might seem irrational with the second example. Now you say that in today's time, have you heard about that even the organs can be grown in the lab? Okay? So organs, tissues, and with the tissues, organs can be grown. In biology, you read about the that in plant world, merismatic cells. Merismatic, कोई किसी ने नहीं पढ़ा है biology? चलो, pluripotent cells. Have you heard? Pluripotent, pluri का मतलब multiple and potent का मतलब potential. So pluripotent cells are those which can take shape of the any organ. It can happen. Then, so this is science. But then, if in Mahabharata it is written that Gandhari gave birth to a loath of the flesh, and then after that rishis of that time, what they did, they said that this loath can grow into a child, cut it into 100 pieces, grown in a particular pot, left for some time, then, and that led to the development of the 100 kids. So is it not a test tube baby? आज के टाइम पे टेस्ट ट्यूब बेबी है साइंस एंड दैट टाइम वी रिजेक्ट इट एज अ मैजिक. सो सी दैट magical things existed in all the periods, and then they were mentioned in the literature also because they were accepted. So magical things were not considered as irrational. And अब इतना लॉजिक दे दिया है, इसके बेसिस पे आगे कुछ आए तो जस्ट डिड्यूस इट. आई होप यू गॉट इट. देन चलो लेट्स मूव ऑन. तो
does the vast syllabus of general studies for the UPSC Prelims overwhelm you to initiate your preparation for the civil services examination? Is your apprehension and self-doubt coming in the way of your success in joining the civil services? Comprehend your preparation for UPSC Prelims 2025 with the fast-track course targeting general studies with innovative curriculum, revision and mentorship. Starting from 19th November at 1 p.m, the course offers coverage of UPSC GS Prelims subjects, dedicated mentorship support and guidance for performance maximization, access to PT 365 classes for current affairs preparation, sectional mini tests for regular assessment and performance, personalized student portal to access study material, access to live and online classes. Enroll today and make prelims your stepping stone to proceed to the UPSC mains.
See the next question. Which of the following explains the practice of Vattakiruttal as mentioned in the Sangam period? What is it? Warrior ethic of the Sangam period. And what is it? The last one. A king defeated in battle committed ritual suicide by starving himself to death. अब यहाँ पे let me tell you one more thing. ठीक है इस पे. So this practice is very similar. So ritual suicide. What are the other examples of the ritual suicide in India? Sallekhana. अब expect a question from Sallekhana. And Sallekhana is also called as Santhara. What is it? In Jainism. So in Jainism, that people, if they feel that they have committed some kind of sin, कुछ पाप किया है, ठीक है? They have committed some sort of crime. So then it is said, last class में क्या पढ़ा था? In Jainism, question जो था 2013, कर्म is the bane of the soul and it can be ended in this life itself. ठीक है? कर्म का association सोल से है, आत्मा से है, और उसको इसी जन्म में खत्म करना होगा. तो नाउ ब्रिंग दिस स्टेटमेंट. अब यहाँ पे रिलेट करो दैट इफ अ किंग और एनीबडी हु फील्स दैट दे हैव डन सम क्राइम, सम सिन इन दिस लाइफ, so then it must end in this life so that next life will be free from it. And what they do for it? Sallekhana, Santhara. What is it? Fasting till death. So tell me the first monarch of India, big monarch of India who performed Sallekhana. Chandragupta Maurya. And the second monarch, इसी में example add कर दे रहा हूँ. First is the Chandragupta Maurya who shifted from Magad to Shravanbelgola in Karnataka under the guidance of Bhadrabahu, and then he ended his life by Sallekhana or Santhara. And then the second king is the Rashtrakoot king. Then, So Rashtrakoot king, his name was Amoghavarsh. He was the Jain follower. He was also known for his patronage to Kannada literature. He is the one who wrote the first Kannada poetics, Kaviraj Marg, and he is the one who committed Sallekhana. Okay? So he also ended his life by Sallekhana. So Sallekhana could be the next question if UPSC wants to ask. Then, so similar to Vattakurittal. और जानना चाहते हो कुछ और बताऊं? ठीक है, तो अंडरस्टैंड अनदर थिंग, ऐसी कोई प्रैक्टिस है राजपूत्स में? जौहर फॉर वुमेन, ठीक है, एंड फॉर मेन, मेन में भी है, ठीक है, आई विल राइट, गिव मी टाइम, मैं इस पे लिख के बताता हूं, ठीक है. सो देयर आर टू प्रैक्टिसेस इन राजपूत्स. फॉर वुमेन इट इज कॉल्ड एज जौहर, and for men it is called as sak. Then what is Johar? When women are threatened, that the dignity, the pride and the humanity is threatened, any invader or any person who is looking at them with the bad eyes, and if it is imminent that their life would be in, or basically their dignity would be in danger, so they were entitled to perform Johar, meaning burning into the jumping into the burning log of the wood and sacrificing their life. There are n number of the instances in Ranthambore Fort, instances in Chittorgarh Fort, instances in Medini Rai's Chanderi Fort, where large number of the people have committed Johar. And so as the instance of the Raja Dahir of Sindh, when he was attacked by Muhammad bin Qasim, the wife of Raja Dahir, she committed Johar. So Johar is a tradition of respecting, that preserving your dignity. But for men also, it was there in the Rajput area, which is called as Sak. What is it? That when the men, they feel, when they are surrounded by the enemies and it is very imminent that they will be defeated and killed, because it will bring a shame to their warriorship, that is warrior ethic. Once again, it is warrior ethic of the Rajput. So what they do, that in Rajputs, it's the tradition that they themselves kill us, ठीक है? तो I will kill you, that it's a, yeah, I will kill you, you kill me, ठीक है? So like this way. One of the example I'll tell you, example is Ranthambore itself. When Alauddin Khilji has attacked Ranthambore fort, Raja Hamir Dev, who was the king of Ranthambore, he went atop a temple in his fort, and that temple was the Lord Shiva's temple. There was a shivling of Lord Shiva. He was holding his head and he cut his own head with his sword. And that is Sak. He did not want to killed by the Alauddin Khilji. He wanted to kill himself. Okay? That's self-respect. Now the second instance, Ranthambore mein, there were few people who did it. In Medini Rai's fort in Chanderi. Chanderi is in Madhya Pradesh. Then, so Medini Rai, who was one of the closest aide of the Rana Sangha of Mewad. It is the attack of the Babar, then, who has surrounded the Medini fort. And Medini fort is the best example जहाँ पे साक और जौहर साथ साथ में हुआ था. Women performed जौहर and all the men, when they were surrounded, so they killed each other. ठीक है? They performed sak. So this is one of the warrior ethic from their side. Got it? Let's move on. So now, so with reference to the ancient Indian history, consider the following pairs. Following pairs basically. ये 2020 through 23 का question है. The options, it is just like the Chemendra and Hastimalla question. कुछ part difficult है, कुछ part तुमको जानते होना चाहिए. तो let's look at the very first option. देवी चंद्रगुप्त, बिल्हाना. Last day हमने क्या लिखा था? So नहीं mention किया था. राजतरंगिणी, which was written by कल्हण, not बिल्हाना. ठीक है? बिल्हाना we study in our classes. We study in पेंटिंग सेक्शन, जहाँ पे when we talk about राजस्थानी पेंटिंग, so बिल्हाना का एक क्रिएशन था चौर पंचासिका. It's a love poem, 52 stanza love poem, which is often used in the Rajasthani painting. Bilhana was also a Kashmiri Pandit. Kalhad was also a Kashmiri Pandit. So Kalhad wrote Rajatarangini and Bilhana wrote Chaur Panchasika. Then Devi Chandraguptam was written by Vishakhadat. So the main books of the Vishakhadat, Devi Chandraguptam, Mudra Rakshas. Then these are the two main books. And Devi Chandraguptam is based on the life story of the Chandragupta II. Then, so Gupta ruler. So it's a very normal information, देवी चंद्रगुप्तम. तो पहला ऑप्शन तुम्हारा यहाँ पे पेयर इनकरेक्ट हो जाता है. Oh, where it gone? तो very first option becomes incorrect because it is विशाखा दत्त. Then हमीर महाकाव्य नाय चंद्र सूरी नहीं मिलेगा तुम्हें, ठीक है. In the normal books that we study in the UPSC preparation, you will not get it. And one must not run after these type of the information जब उस टाइम पे आया है. ऑब्वियसली जब एक बार आ गया तो यू डू द रिसर्च अराउंड इट. देन मिलिंद पन्ना, इट्स अ वेरी सिंपल इंफॉर्मेशन. हर एंशियंट मिडिवल की क्लास में ये होना चाहिए. तो इट इज़ ऑल फ्रॉम द टाइम ऑफ द पोस्ट मौर्य पीरियड. सो आफ्टर द डिक्लाइन एंड डिसइंटीग्रेशन ऑफ द मौर्यास, there was emergence of the regional kingdoms and foreigners were also coming. Regional kingdoms में Sungas, Satavahanas and Kanavas, then these were the rulers. And when it comes to foreigners, so Indo-Greeks, then Sakas and Parthians, and then also Kushanas. Then so 4 dynasties have come. Now this story, Milind Panna, is from the time of the Indo-Greek. One of the most famous Indo-Greek ruler was Menander. And Menander, when he has established his kingdom in Sialkot area of the Pakistan, so then he was persuaded by one Buddhist monk whose name was Nagasen, not Nagarjun. So Nagasen was persuading him, and Menander was asked Nagasen. Menander was questions where accurately or very satisfactorily it was replied by Nagasen. Impressed by it, Menander accepted Buddhism and he took the name Milind. So the name of this Milind Panna is the questions of the Milind, and it was written by Nagasen. Who is Nagarjun? Nagarjun is the Buddhist philosopher who and creator of the Madhyamika philosophy. कल भी हमने बात किया था. आर्यदेव, you remember, कल के क्वेश्चन में था. आर्यदेव was the disciple of the Nagarjun. Then so Nagarjun, and moreover Nagarjun, Madhyamika philosophy के अलावा he was also known for alchemy. Alchemy, you understand? That good knowledge of the chemistry, metallurgy. And alchemy is basically turning any metal into gold. Then तो नागार्जुन यहाँ पे इनकरेक्ट हो गया. तो 2 पेयर इनकरेक्ट हो गए. तो 2 पेयर में इनकरेक्ट हो गए. तो देन 2 इसमें से कौन सा ऑप्शन रिमूव कर सकते हो? ओनली 1, ओनली 3. अब बचा ओनली 2. ऑल 4 भी एलिमिनेट हो गया. तो नाउ एलिमिनेशन से आराम से ये हो जा रहा है. यू डोंट नीड टू नो हमीर महाकाव्य एंड नीति नीति वाक्य अमृत. तो ये इसकी जरूरत नहीं है, ठीक है. देखो यूपीएससी ने तुम्हें स्कोप दिया है. दिस क्वेश्चन व्हाट यूपीएससी इज टेस्टिंग योर पेशेंस. इट्स नॉट टेस्टिंग योर नॉलेज, क्योंकि ये नॉर्मल इंफॉर्मेशन है दोनों, ठीक है. योर दो चीजें, योर पेशेंस एंड योर अवेयरनेस, 2 थिंग्स आर टेस्टेड. देन योर फैक्ट इज नॉट टेस्टेड इन दीज टाइप ऑफ द क्वेश्चन. तो आराम से एलिमिनेट हो रहा है. 2 अगर जो निकल गए तो सब एलिमिनेट हो जा रहा है. ओनली 2, ओनली 3 तो होगा ही नहीं, ठीक है. सो you can go with this one. Then let's more come to the next question. This is this year paper. Once again, this was, I would say this is a one question which you can leave better. Then जिसको छोड़ देना बेहतर होगा rather than writing, rather than going ahead. And believe me, none of the books, ठीक है, they have accurately mentioned all of it. Even it is not totally mentioned in Upinder Singh. Then तो question देख लो. Which one of the following work is attributed to playwright Bhasa? Then तो Bhasa, so Bhasa's book, that the popular one, if you know, actually मैं बता रहा हूँ, when I started searching about it, तो Bhasa की main books, his book which is most popular is Swapna Vasav Dutt. Very rarely some of the text, I'll tell you which text has mentioned that कि another book of his Madhyam Vyayog. Then where it is mentioned in the Bharati Vidya Bhavan book. Then, and what is Bharati Vidya Bhavan? Have you heard the name of K.M. Munshi? ठीक है, पॉलिटी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में पढ़ा होगा. ही वॉज द मेंबर ऑफ द ड्राफ्टिंग कमिटी, ठीक है, ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, एंड ही वॉज ऑल्सो द फर्स्ट होम मिनिस्टर ऑफ द बॉम्बे. Then moreover he was a very influential and very eminent personality of the history and the literature. He is the one who founded the historical one of the reputed institute of India, Bharati Vidya Bhavans in Bombay. Then how many of you are going with the history optional? कोई जा रहा है? You are going with. तो you must have heard about one very famous historian, R.C. Majumdar. ठीक है? तो Majumdar Sahab was chosen as the vice chancellor of this particular university, and Bharati Vidya Bhavan was founded. So those were 1950s were the time that there was a fight between the historians in India. So the mod historians of India, mod you understand that those who are influenced by the British tradition and they just want that some sort of that, I'll tell you, okay? The movement exactly is called as Suddho and Asuddho. Dhyan se samajhna. So what is Suddho and Asuddho? That then leftist historians of India, they were of the view that if we represent all the facts of the communal violence or all the facts related to the religious atrocities and the tolerance, so then it will not create a cleaner generation. Then, so what they did, that they started removing uncomfortable facts from the history, and then only वो नहीं बोलते कि झाड़ पोछ के जो दिखाना चाहते हैं वो दिखाना स्टार्ट कर दिया. सो दे रिमूव्ड ऑल द अनकंफर्टेबल फैक्ट्स. देन बट देन द भारती विद्या भवन वाज इन द फेवर ऑफ द शुद्धो हिस्ट्री. व्हाट इज शुद्धो? कि जो हुआ है उसको लिखो, ठीक है? वट एवर दैट हैज हैपेंड यू मस्ट राइट. लेट्स लीव इट ऑन द पीपल टू फिगर आउट कि व्हाट इज देयर इन इट फॉर देम, rather than you what you are doing, that what they said that what you are doing, leftist historian, that you are indoctrinating people, that history के कुछ portions छुपा के कुछ बता के you are not doing justice. So I am also of the same belief, ठीक है, that I believe that whatever has happened you must know everything. We have the right to know everything and then I will decide कि उसमें क्या figure out मेरे को करना है. Somebody will not indoctrinate me कि नहीं ये वर्जन एक्सेप्ट कर लो. तो दे हैव रिटन द हिस्ट्री विद द प्योरिटी एक्चुअली without any biasness, and Bharati Vidya Bhavan, that's why in the today's time it is very respected. So I remember that when I embarked on writing the book, so I happened to meet some of the people from Bharati Vidya Bhavan, that thanks to that, not thanks, because one of my closest relative, he is a professor over there, so I met there. And then they said one thing to me, that in today's time, that governments focus also and the people of the literature also, that the pure part of the history must be represented. So I tried, and there in their books, so when it comes to the history of India, there are 13 books of the Bharati Vidya Bhavans. When you collect these 13 books, the length would be this much. Okay? So in that book, it is mentioned Madhyam Vyayog. मैंने इसके अलावा और कहीं नहीं पाया, किसी किताब में नहीं पाया है. बट देन रेस्ट ऑफ द पोर्शंस लेट्स लुक एट. तो अब नेक्स्ट ईयर के लिए, सिंस इट इज 2024, तो व्हाट यू नीड टू डू, दैट काव्य अलंकार हो सकता है किसी ऑप्शन में इन 2025 दे कैन गिव यू काव्य अलंकार. देन सो इट वाज रिटन बाय भामहा. देन नाट्य शास्त्र वी रीड, ये इजी इंफॉर्मेशन है, ये हम कम से कम अपनी क्लासेस में वी विल बी रीडिंग इट 4-5 टाइम्स. देन so Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra, written in 1st century BC, it was the first treatise on dance, drama and music. Then so it is literature of the dance, drama and music. Then Madhyam Vyayog was the book, and महाभाष्य अभी थोड़ी देर पहले हमने डिस्कशन किया था. तो इसमें तुम क्या कर सकते थे? You could have eliminated 2, महाभाष्य पतंजलि, ठीक है, देन मध्यम व्यायोग छोड़ दो, नाट्य शास्त्र भरत मुनि. इफ यू एलिमिनेट 2 तो 2 बचता है, काव्य अलंकार एंड मध्यम व्यायोग. सो इफ यू वांट टू टेक रिस्क इन दिस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, यू कैन टेक रिस्क, जहां पे तुमने 50-50 सिनेरियो बना लिया है, तो देयर यू कैन टेक रिस्क. बट देन ओनली 1 ऑप्शन यू हैव एलिमिनेटेड. 3 में कंफ्यूजन है, तो आई वुड नॉट से टेक अ रिस्क. बट देन व्हेन 2 यू हैव डिड्यूस, तो यहां पे एक कैलकुलेटेड गेस ले सकते हो, ठीक है, बिकॉज काव्य अलंकार इज ऑल्सो नॉट पॉपुलर. देन एंड देन एक और इसमें मेरा एक तरीका रहता है, जैसे मैं हैंडल करता इस क्वेश्चन को, तो मैं तुम्हें बता रहा हूं दैट हाउ आई वुड हैव अराइव्ड एट द राइट आंसर विदाउट नोइंग व्हाट इज काव्य अलंकार. द वर्ड काव्य, देन व्हाट इज काव्य? पोएम. एंड व्हाट इज रिटन ओवर हियर? प्ले राइट. प्ले मतलब प्रोज, तो यहीं पे ये काव्य खत्म हो गया. गेटिंग इट? तो मैं इस लॉजिक से काव्य अलंकार हटा देता. गेटिंग इट? तो दिस वे यू हैव टू बी This is a difficult question. Once again, take a deep breath. Look at each and every word. कहीं से कुछ मिल जाए, ठीक है? And the answer is in playwright itself. Then, तो you can easily remove महाभाष्य, नाट्य शास्त्र, बच गया काव्य अलंकार, and then मध्यम व्यायोग, and then काव्य is poem and play is the play, ठीक है? तो if the book name is काव्य का अलंकार, तो it could not be a play. So remove it. So this could be one way. यही देखो, जो स्ट्रैटेजी हो सकता है वो यही स्ट्रैटेजी है, और तो कुछ नहीं है इसके अलावा. बट देन आई थिंक इट विल हेल्प. देन मेंशन. सो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, ये भी इसी ईयर का क्वेश्चन है. संघभूति, एन इंडियन बुद्धिस्ट मोंक. यस विजिबल. संघभूति, an Indian Buddhist monk who traveled to China at the end of the 4th century AD, was the author of the commentary on. So, was difficult question, but then resources में है. See, it is in the Upinder Singh. Upinder Singh में एक पूरा there is a one page which is completely dedicated to this part only, whereby they have mentioned all those Buddhist monks who have gone to China. Now, according to my perception, that why this was in the news, कि Sanghbhuti went to China. Where is the question? Sanghbhuti went to China. I hope you all know about this firebrand leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party from Bangalore. What is the name? नहीं, firebrand leader from Bangalore of BJP. Tejasvi Surya, ठीक है? Tejasvi Surya went to China actually, ठीक है? 2023 की बात है. And then there he attended many seminaries related to that Kumaril Bhatt, ठीक है? And then also that not only Kumaril Bhatt, but then one more guy whose name एक मिनट में बता रहा हूँ, ठीक है? Who is more popular in China. Then so when Kumaril Bhatt only, so he has talked about the contribution of that particular person over there, and then that is the time when in many of the newspapers it was documented that who all have gone to China, okay, in which year. And in Upinder Singh, on a particular page, all the people who have gone in which period and on which particular book or commentary they have worked on, it is given. So it could be solved. तो इसका कम से कम एक resource है. Difficult तो था, but it was there is a resource. So if you are well versed with it, it can be done. तो एक बार देखते हैं. Pran Paramita Sutra. The very first book is mentioned, Pran Paramita Sutra. It is Pran Paramita is a very famous text in the Buddhism. It is related to once again Nagarjuna. Okay? So when you read about Nagarjuna, what you read about him? Okay? One, his philosophy, Madhyamika, and then his disciple Aryadev. You get to know about him, who also contributed toward another philosophy, Vaibhasika. Then Nagarjuna was the writer of the Prana Paramita Sutra, and Nagarjuna was also known for alchemy. तो कौन सा क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछा है? Alchemy part they haven't heard. They haven't asked. So maybe next time they can ask about his metallurgical contributions. Then, तो metallurgical contribution में there is one book of the Nagarjuna which I need to mention, Rasa Ratnakar. So Rasa Ratnakar is the book which was written by Nagarjuna, but it is based on the metallurgy. And what is metallurgy? Extraction of the metals. Then, so that you can expect. Then Vishuddhimagga, it was written by Buddha Ghosh. Then Shravastivada Vinay, leave it. And then Lalit Vistar. So Lalit Vistar I teach in the classes. Then Lalit Vistar is the holy text of the Mahayana Buddhism. When Mahayana Buddhism was created in, or it became that full-fledged sect in the initial years of the post-Maurya age, so that is the time only when Lalit Vistar was written. So Lalit Vistar is the holy text of the Mahayana Buddhism, and it is not one person's writing, but many people have contributed towards the Lalit Vistar, and Lalit Vistar was written in Sanskrit language. Then, so Lalit Vistar is this. तो बचता है इसमें श्रवस्तिवाद विनय. So not mentioned, only in Upinder Singh. So either you can leave this question, or I would not say. If I would be at your place, I would better leave this question. इसमें बहुत exercise करने के बाद भी elimination भी नहीं हो पा रहा है. And it's totally factual. But then there are one or two people who actually corrected it. Consider the following statement, this year's paper, okay? 2024. So यहाँ पे I'll give you one more once again. Last class, what we mentioned when we were talking about that Buddhist question only, deification of Buddha. What I said to you, Hindi देख लो. Then, तो actually when we look at this word, अब ध्यान से देखना. Just give me 1 minute. So parables. Parables and उसके साथ में क्या है? No. Extreme word is no. Then, so इसके साथ में extreme word is no. What they have mentioned, there are no parables in Upanishad. तो दो चीज है. First you note down there is extreme word, no, and then second is parable. So general perception about the parable that it is some sort of fancy story. Then that is the general perception. But then I would always recommend, suggest, request to you see the Hindi version. हिंदी वर्जन में क्या लिखा था? नीति वाक्य. What is नीति? Ethics, ethical, moral. Then, so there are no parables in Upanishad, meaning कि उपनिषद में कोई नीति वाक्य ही नहीं है. ठीक है? And then just have a look at it. Then, सत्यमेव जयते. It is the motto of the government of India. What is it? Truth always wins. Is it a Niti Vakya? Obviously, it is the ethical thing, moral ethical. And then moreover, from where it is taken? Mundak Upanishad. यहीं पे cut हो गया. Then, there are many words which I can say. So this is just one example which I gave you, जो कि सबको पता होता है. ठीक है? And then, that Upanishads are the progressive text. They are fully based on the Niti Vakya itself. Then, so you have so many moral, ethical lessons in the this one. ठीक है? Atithi Devo Bhava, taken from the Mundak Upanishad. तो what is it? कोई तुम्हारे घर पे आया है तो भगाओ नहीं उसे. ठीक है? Atithi is like that. Anybody who has come, he is like the Devata. At least give some service in the beginning. Then, so it is also Niti Vakya. Then, taken from the Kato Upanishad. So what? Is it there is no parable? तो parable word की meaning नहीं जान सकते. हो सकता है कि that you don't know the meaning of the word. So for that please refer to the Hindi. Then accordingly it is an easy question. Upanishads were composed earlier than the Puranas. That's not. So when we look at the composition of the literature, Sanskrit literature, very first is the Vedas. After the Vedas, extended text of the Veda, and extended text of the Veda includes three type of the text: Brahmana, Aranyak, and Upanishad. Upanishad के बाद the third stage comes to the Ramayana and Mahabharata, and the fourth stage comes to the Puranas. So in the sequence of the literature, Ved पहले, Ved के बाद the extended literature of the Ved, that is Brahmana, Aranyak, and Upanishad. Third place is the epics Ramayana and Mahabharata, and fourth place Puranas. Then, so what is written? Upanishads were composed earlier than the Puranas. Correct? Then the only two is correct in this one. It was not a difficult question. देखो UPSC एग्जाम में हमेशा ये ध्यान रखना, it is not like the state PCS examination where fact making is more required, but here your general awareness about the things surrounding you comes very handy. Then, so if you are not, देखो nervous नहीं हो एग्जाम में, so then it will be helpful, and over confident भी नहीं हो तो भी it is helpful. So don't be anything over nervous, over confident. Little bit of nervousness is fine, but उससे ज़्यादा नहीं. ठीक है? तो let's go into it, and I'm just telling you कि मतलब normally कैसे कर सकते हो without so much of fact mugging. Then so this is old question of 2017. I'll take a little bit of water. So this is 2017 question. Which of the following is our famous sun temples? Then चलो ये elimination का question है, easily eliminate हो जाता है. So just give me 1 minute. Edit. Now, so understand. Number 3. Om. Who is Om? Lord Shiva. ठीक है? Omkareshwar. You just need to remember in these type of question the 12 Shiva Jyotirlingas. 12 Shiva Jyotirlingas, it all starts from Somnath. ठीक है? Somnath के अलावा in Gujarat, चल, let me give you a list. You don't need to remember thousands of the temples of India. Strategic fact. And remembering the 12 Shiv Jyotirlinga is a strategic fact. In Gujarat, Somnath and Nageshwar, 2 Shiv Jyotirling. Then in Maharashtra, 3 Shiv Jyotirling. What is that? Bhim Sankar, Girishneshwar and Trambakeshwar in Nasik. Then in Madhya Pradesh, Omkareshwar and Mahakaleshwar of Ujjain. Then in UP, Kashi Vishwanath. In Uttarakhand, Kedarnath. In Jharkhand, Vaidyanath of Devghar. Then and in Andhra, Mallikarjun, Srisailam, and the last Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu. So these are the 12 Shiva Jyotirling dedicated to Lord Shiva. What is Shiva Jyotirling? These are the places where it is believed that Lord Shiva manifested him in a light form. ठीक है, ज्योतिर्लिंग के फॉर्म में. So that's what is. So Omkareshwar is one of the Jyotirling. अगर सिर्फ इतना इंफॉर्मेशन पता है, it is number 3. Wherever is number 3, cut it, you have the answer. Then you don't need to remember where is Sun Temple. Then so which all of the Sun Temple. 3 जहां पे भी ये कट कर दिया, you got to know it. Even if you don't know Omkareshwar is the this particular Shiv temple, तो Om से कम derive करो. Om is dedicated to Lord Shiva, and that's how this is Lord Shiva simple. मान लो, suppose if I change this Omkareshwar with another thing, ठीक है? If I change it with Maheshwar, who is Mahesh? Lord Shiva. So temple is Lord Shiva's temple. Cut 3. Then suppose if I change it to Maheshwar, I change it to Venkateshwar. Who is Venkateshwar? Lord Vishnu. Lord Tirupati Balaji. Then so Lord Vishnu. So if 3rd is Venkateshwar, cut 3rd. It is not Sun Temple. Apply this logic. Okay? In this way, you don't need to. I know. I'll tell you one funny thing, but I don't know that why people do this thing. When this question came in 2017, almost all the books in the guidebooks in the market, what they did, सबने अपनी किताबों में 2-3 pages, and in these pages more than 200-300 temple name and then who's the god in that temple they listed. It is not required. And चलो डाल भी दिया, ठीक है? Will you be able to remember 250 temples and then their names? It's better to remember something else rather than that. So this will be too excruciating. So that is never ever required in this exam. You just need to develop those strategy attributes whereby applying those logics you can do the deduction and then after you can arrive at the answer. Ye question. So now it's may just only one part which we generally we teach in the classes. That is the last one. Then बाकी दोनों के बारे में information is totally current affair based. Thangata is the part of Manipuri. ठीक है? Thangata is the martial dance of Manipur. And Manipuri में when the dance form started, so 2 dance traditions were included from Manipur. One was the Lai Hairoba festival dance and another was the Thangata. So here option Sikkim is incorrect. Then ये हो गया. Then these 2 were in the news. ठीक है? Were in the news. अब ये कहाँ से आता है? ये सब चीजें कहाँ से आती हैं? For this particular purpose, you will have to refer to the current वाला part. So for example, that vision का जो PT 365 होता है, PT 365 में there is a culture part and it will not have more pages. So I think that की 29 to 30 pages is there. That current affairs से जो भी related information है culture में, that comes into it. So revise that, you will be able to do this type of the question. But from where it comes, generally what happens that folk dances and these are performed in some government functions. So particularly that you will have to search ki when the G20 meeting happened in India in Bharat Mandapam, so what all dance forms happened over there, you can find in the current affairs. Then Republic Day parade hota hai. So during the Republic Day parade, many state tableaus are there and in the tableaus also the dances are there. So from there these information comes. This is purely the current oriented information. So on the basis of that you will have to solve. Then so little bit of relevance of the current is also there in the culture. Then so isme Thangata was not, but these 2 were performed in the festivals those time, and those 2 are correct, 1 and 2. So Chap Charkut, एक और festival पूछा था, I'll tell you, festival से related. Now understand, consider the following pairs, and इसमें दो question है इस page पे, but let's look at the first question. So this is interesting question. I found that UPSC is doing something unique related to the geography and culture. So here, what you need to do, first of all, consider the following pairs: famous place and the river. Done. So very first, that Pandharpur. The river name is mentioned, Chandrabhaga. Tiruchirappalli, river name is Kaveri, and Hampi is Malaprabha, but river name is, original is the Tungabhadra. So Pandharpur, we talk about the Pandharpur and Pandharpur, ये question भी कहाँ से आ रहा है? There was this tableau of the Maharashtra, ठीक है, in 2019 itself, and in this tableau of the Maharashtra, that Vari Varkari tradition, अब यहीं पे मैं एक लिख रहा हूँ और आगे देखना, this question will be coming in the paper. Done? So let me write, just give me 1 minute. And I'll tell you entire information associated with this place. So Vari Varkari, done. And one more information is the god who is worshipped over here is called as Vithoba. So Maharashtra mein there is a one very famous pilgrimage place, that is the Shirdi Sai Baba. You all know, okay? And Shirdi Sai Baba is a bit closer to the Nasik. इतना भी close नहीं, वहाँ से भी 1.5-2 घंटे लगते हैं. The original area is the Manmad, then, and Igatpuri. So Pandharpur is a famous place associated with the Lord Vishnu worship, and Lord Vishnu is worshipped in the form of Vithoba. Then, and the celebration of his life is called as Vari Varkari. Then, so Pandharpur is situated on the banks of river Chandrabhaga, and moreover, iske pehle before 2013, in 2013 also and 14 also, there was one Bhakti saint who was asked 2-3 times. His name was Tukaram. So Tukaram was the Maharashtra Bhakti saint, and then his life story, one of the part of his life story, he belonged to the Shudra community, and people were not liking that a person from the Shudra community writing on the religious stuff. So all his book were thrown into the Chandrabhaga river, and he did a kind of a prarthana at the Vitthal Swami temple or Vithoba's temple, and then his all books appeared from the Chandrabhaga. So whenever you are doing geography mein atlas exercise, so generally that faculties geography teachers, they will tell you about the normal jagah, lekin tumko apne end se what you need to do, you have to exercise about the cultural places. Then to uske aaspaas mein kaun sa hill range hai and what river is there. So this exercise you do. Tiruchirappalli is on the banks of Kaveri, and Hampi, which was the capital of the Vijayanagar, it was on the banks of river Tungabhadra. Then, so this is I would not say difficult part, but then padhna to padega iske liye, theek hai? So these are the strategic informations. Then Bhilsa se related question also, once again it will be asked. 2020, there are other names of the Bhilsa. I am writing over here Besnagar, and modern name is Vidisha. Okay? So these are the 3 names of Bhilsa. Besnagar and modern name is Vidisha. And in fact, our previous foreign minister, Sushma Swaraj, she was a 3-time MP from the Vidisha, Madhya Pradesh. Then, so let's come to, so Shivraj Singh Chauhan also, after her death, okay? So he has won from, recently in this elections. So this is one very good place from the perspective of the cultural things also. So Bhilsa, understand, Bhilsa is in Madhya Pradesh, Vidisha is the original district of today's time, and Bhilsa mein kya tha, that during the regime of Sunga king, one of the Sunga king was Bhagabhadra. During the time of the Bhagabhadra, one Greek ambassador came to India. His name was Heliodorus, and Heliodorus accepted Hinduism with all his people, and then after he installed a pillar dedicated to Lord Vishnu, which is called as Bhilsa pillar, Besnagar pillar, or Vidisha pillar. So this pillar is known as Garud Dhwaj, which is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. Now you got it? Dwar Samudra, if you have seen, anybody has seen my video of the Hoysalas, you will more know about the Dwar Samudra. What is Dwar Samudra? It was the capital of the Hoysalas, Karnataka. Then, and Hoysala rulers, 11th century to 14th century. And they were contemporaries of the Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And Hoysalas, so Hoysalas, and where is the Dwar Samudra? Starting from Mysore se leke Bangalore ke beech mein, theek hai? The entire area is the Hoysala area. So important coffee plantations of India, they are all in the Hoysala. The Hassan district to which H.D. Devi Gowda belongs, his son Kumar Devi Gowda belongs, and so as the Chikmagalur, Halibid. So these are the areas. And the capital was named Dwara Samudra because the ruler himself created a very big that lake. Then lake in the form of looks like a samudra, and that's how it was named Dwara Samudra. So if you look at the video, if you see the Dwara Samudra, which I have covered in the video, you will never forget. So where is it? Karnataka. Okay? It's not a difficult question. Then Girinagar is basically Girnar, and Girnar is in Gujarat. Then this also we read in the classes. So ये option correct है. And यहाँ पे क्या था? This is mentions Thaneshwar. तो लोग कंफ्यूज हो गए कि थानेश्वर है, बट रीड द हिंदी वर्जन. हिंदी में क्या लिखा था? थानेश्वर. एंड हुज रिजीम इज थानेश्वर? पुष्यभूति, हर्षवर्धन, देन हिज फादर. एंड वेयर इज थानेश्वर? हरियाणा. ठीक है, तो दिस इज इजी क्वेश्चन ऑफ द एलिमिनेशन. सो लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट. अब भिलसा याद रखना, देयर इज अ वन क्वेश्चन विच वाज आस्क्ड वेरी रिसेंटली इस क्वेश्चन के बाद. Which one of the following statement is correct? Ajanta caves lie in the gorge of the Waghora river. So this is also, I would say that कि मतलब अब जो लोग मेरे से नहीं पढ़े हैं, obviously I can't say about it, but then those who have read with me, तो उन्हें पता है, ठीक है, that it is situated in the gorge of the Waghora river. Then तो अजंता, I'll tell you, अजंता is like this, ठीक है, structure ऐसे है. The caves are like this. This is the hill range. Then this is the hill range of Ajanta, and then beach में यहाँ पे actually this hill range is taking the shape of the Waghora river, which is going like this. Then and Ajanta is created on the sloping side of the hill. There are two sides of the hill. Sloping. Sorry. Ajanta is created on steep side. Steep meaning that going straight, and sloping is like that. It's going like this way. So Ajanta was created on this steep side. And steep side पे, that's why अजंता में आंगन नहीं है, courtyards are not there. Rooms above each other are there, but courtyards are not there. On the other hand, Ellora, which is 105 kilometers from Ajanta, so it is created on this sloping side. Then, because it is created on the sloping side, Ellora has courtyards, then it has angan, but Ajanta does not have a angan. So once again, this is a question of the cultural geography. So what you have to do, Atlas में जब भी काम करना, prelims के पहले mark it that some important places that you have studied in culture, उसका geographical detail also you need to know. ठीक है, you need to inquire. तो Atlas already it is very colorful then, but then I would recommend to you what I have seen, I have done also, my friends have also done, those people are selected, they have also done. एक अपना पेन रखो, उस पेन से उसमें लिखो, अंडरलाइन करो, even though it is colorful, but then do exercise from your own end. That's how we tend to remember.
A strong hold over current affairs is your way to succeed in the UPSC Civil Services examination. Brace yourself and get detailed coverage of relevant news both nationally and internationally. With the monthly current affairs revision program starting from 26th October at 5 p.m. Enroll today and elevate your current affairs knowledge with comprehensive coverage of current affairs compiled through relevant sources such as the Hindu Indian Express, Economic Times, PIB Yojana and others. Expert support and personalized mentoring. Comprehensive assessment through MCQs and mains-oriented questions.
वापस आ गए, ठीक है. Consider the, so what was the question in 2000? Let me see the year 2020. Now the question in 2023. Besnagar. What is it? Bhilsa, Vidisha. Dedicated to whom? Lord Vishnu. Who created pillar? Heliodorus. So pillar created, name of the pillar Garud Dhwaj, and it is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. इसमें क्या mention है? Sevite Cave Shrine. What is it? Vishnu Shrine, not cave, not Lord Shiva. तो यहीं पे ये ऑप्शन एलिमिनेट हो गया. देन सो दिस ऑप्शन गॉट एलिमिनेटेड. देन भज, दिस इज ऑल्सो वी स्टडी इन द क्लासेस. इसमें से कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन ऐसा नहीं है दैट इज डिफिकल्ट. नॉर्मल रिसोर्सेज यू स्टडी इन द क्लासेस, यू विल बी without any difficulty you'll be able to solve. So Bhaj is one of the famous Buddhist cave which developed during the post-Maurya age, and when you look at the structures of the Bhaj cave, तो अंदर के inside में there is a votive stupa and there are the pillars. It's like a chaitya. Then so it's a chaitya. Then Sita Navasal, it is a Jain cave created in Tamil Nadu, and this cave we study basically in the painting section when we talk about the mural paintings or wall paintings. So there we read about the Sita Navasal caves of the Tamil Nadu, where inside the cave many Jain stories are mentioned. So it is a Jain cave shrine. So second and third. So बेस नगर से ही यहाँ से एक तुम कम से कम एक तो मिल गया कि that is not correct. Then this is this year question. This is also what I predicted. ठीक है. Shanti Niketan was given the UNESCO heritage status. इसमें पूछा क्या है? You have to be very particular. How many of the above properties were included in 2023 World Heritage List released by UNESCO? So this is what is the most important part that you need to understand. Give me 1 minute. So basically, Shanti Niketan, Rani Ki Vav was given UNESCO heritage status. It is in Gujarat, Patan area of the Gujarat. This also we study in the classes. So Rani Ki Vav is a step well which is created in Patan. और एक्चुअली ये डिजाइन क्या है रानी की वाव कि टेम्पल ऊपर जैसे बनता है वैसे ही टेम्पल को उल्टा करके नीचे की तरफ बनाया गया है. सो इट्स अ टेम्पल अपसाइड डाउन देन एंड इट इज इन द फॉर्म ऑफ द स्टेप्स going into a well. So that is Rani Ki Vav was created by Queen Udaymati, and then it was given UNESCO heritage I think in 2014. Then Mahabodhi temple complex of Bodh Gaya, where Buddha got nirvana. So this also has been given UNESCO heritage status too earlier. Then so Mahabodhi temple 2002 में मिला था. List I have created. Shanti Niketan was given last year. Shanti Niketan is Rabindranath Tagore's. Then that UNESCO, the university premise of the Vishwa Bharati, and then sacred ensembles of the Hoysalas. This also I have covered in my videos. ये मैं बहुत मतलब एग्जाम के पहले ही कवर कर चुका था. तो what all, तो ये दोनों स्टेज में आ चुका है. This question is there in your mains examination also, prelims examination also. What are the temples? Hoysaleswar temple, then Channakeshwar temple of Beluru, Hoysaleswar temple of Halebedu, Channakeshwar temple of Beluru, and Channakeshwar temple of which area? Somnathpura. So ye all of them are very closer to Karnataka, but closer to Bangalore. It is in Karnataka, but closer to Bangalore. That 3 to 4 hours drive, all the structures are there from the Bangalore. Then, so these are the three, and question both the stages has been asked. So isme Santiniketan and third is the answer. Then the world's second tallest statue in the sitting pose of Ramanuj was inaugurated by the Prime Minister of India at Hyderabad recently. Which of one of the following statements correctly represent the teachings of the Sri Ramanuj? Or Ramanuj isme mention hai, but he is Sri Ramanujacharya of Srirangam. Then, so Sri Ramanuj, it was very popular. इसमें एक controversy भी हुई थी that what was the controversy? I'll tell you that people were saying कि भाई opposition का तो काम होता है that they must do the मतलब bring some of this fact. After the COVID, government of India was emphasizing on Make in India. ठीक है? And this statue which was inaugurated in Hyderabad, so it has golden statue. It is a golden statue, and its block. So blocks were assembled and then the statue got created. And these all blocks were manufactured in China. Okay? So that was the controversy which emerged at that point of time. But then government gave a clarity that when we called for that boycott Chinese and then Make in India, so that is after the COVID. But this project was already given 10 years back to the Chinese company to create it. So it took 8 years to create it, and then it was delivered to government of India in 2022. So that is one thing. So it was in the news, बहुत news में था, but नहीं भी news में हो तो भी रामानुज जी का नाम सुन के you must know that he was the most important character of the Bhakti movement of India. He was the 11th century AD saint. जैसे lastly what we told, Indian philosophy, orthodox, heterodox, or Vedanta philosophy, what I mentioned, two popular streams, Advaitavad and Visishta Advaitavad. Advaitavad was founded by Sankaracharya, and Visishta Advaitavad by Ramanuja. So what is Ramanuja is saying? He is emphasizing on the bhakti marg for the salvation. अब इसमें ढूंढ लो कहाँ पे भक्ति लिखा हुआ है, ठीक है? तो very first one, the best means of salvation is devotion. What is devotion? Bhakti. Then leave it. Easy, very easy question. Then just give me 1 minute. Fine. सो अब ये क्वेश्चन मेरे डोमेन के नहीं है ऑब्वियसली, ठीक है, ये तुम्हारे सारे करंट अफेयर के हैं. सो आई विल जस्ट मतलब शो यू क्वेश्चंस देख लो ताकि तुम्हें ध्यान रहे कि यू हैव टू रीड द अवार्ड्स, इंस्टीट्यूशंस एंड सो एज द स्पोर्ट्स. तो ये कल्चर के नहीं है, ठीक है, ऑब्वियसली दैट दे फॉल इन अ मिसलिनियस कैटेगरी इन द पेपर इटसेल्फ. So Indira Gandhi Prize for Peace, Disarmament and Development for 2014 was given to one of the following, ISRO. तो you have to inquire about Indira Gandhi Peace Prize. अब क्या क्या related है उससे, न्यूज़ में है तो पूछेंगे, ठीक है. Then just for a look I am keeping it. Which of the following have been accorded geographical indication? This we cover in culture and geography both. So this is a part of the culture and geography both. And generally क्या होता है that कि recently included GI tags are asked in exam. तो बनारसी साड़ी, बनारस ब्रोकेड एंड साड़ी, तो इट इज़ बनारसी साड़ी इन द जीआई टैग. राजस्थान का दाल बाटी चूरमा और बिहार का लिट्टी चोखा, ठीक है, बोथ ऑफ देम perception is that it is in GI tag, but it is not GI tag. It's a popular food, but GI tag has not been given. अब तिरुपति लड्डू तो you already know, ठीक है, तो it is GI tag, but then the controversy has happened. So the sacrilege has happened which must not have happened then. And this is how what we see, मतलब what has been said about the कलयुग that कि ऐसी चीजें होंगे. No, Tirupati तो I have been many times. मैं तो the video was which I released ना, that was in the month of April I was there, ठीक है, in Tirupati. नहीं April नहीं, May में. In the month of May I was there. Prelims exam के पहले मैं था वहाँ पे, ठीक है, when I was there. And then in fact I will not tell much about it क्योंकि अच्छी बात नहीं होती है. Basically what happened that it was too much of crowd and in a day itself that वहाँ पे लोग 2-2 दिन wait करते हैं to get the glimpse of the deity because अंदर जाते वक्त रास्ता पतला हो जाता है, ठीक है, and then very less number of the people can go inside and then also very less time is given to you. तो somehow, ठीक है, मतलब just like you, if you become the civil servant, तो it will be help for me also. One of my students, he is a civil servant, but then he is related to some of big politician of the, and actually deputy CM. So I got some recommendation, so then I got the darshan. So I remember, मेरी बहुत पुरानी class होगी in 2013, where in class I said I was very actually offended that once I was there in the temple. And in one of the temple, and then after some people that of the elite status, they went and they got darshan for 5-10 minutes as if they are looking at the structure और वैसा ही जाके कहीं और बनाने वाले हैं. And then the normal people were not even given 5 seconds. That was injustice. Then, so I actually argued with all the people who were there that this is not right. Then that so much of privilege, but then you cannot eliminate this part from the society. So then I requested to some of my students at that point of time कि बन जाना तो मुझे भी कम से कम एक अच्छा दर्शन तो दिला दो. तो then it will happen and some of you जिस भी state में posted हो ना, keep me posted where you are. So I will go for darshan of the popular temples over there. So now and चलो लेट्स मूव ऑन. तो दीज राजस्थानी दाल बाटी चूरमा और बिहार का लिट्टी चोखा, लोगों के अंदर परसेप्शन होता है कि ये है जीआई टैग, बट दोनों में से नहीं है. तो जो रीसेंट में जो जीआई टैग होता है, दैट इज ओनली हैज बीन आस्क्ड. सो दैट व्हाट वी कवर, दैट एवरी ईयर वी डू अपडेट. सो फॉर एग्जांपल कि मेरी तो बुक अभी पहली बार आई है, तो आई हैव एडेड लास्ट 2 ईयर कि पिछले साल का और इस साल का. देन आई विल फर्दर अपडेट इट दैट इस ईयर में जो भी मिलने वाला है. तो कीप ऑन लुकिंग एट द PT 365 ऑल्सो, ठीक है, उसमें भी इंफॉर्मेशन मिल जाएगा. देन विच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग हैव बीन अकॉर्डिंग, दिस इज द सेम थिंग, ठीक है. सो अ रीसेंट मूवी टाइटल्ड द मैन हु न्यू द इन्फिनिटी इज बेस्ड ऑन द, so this was also current information, a very popular movie, and then it was on the base of life of the S Ramanujan. Then so this is current information. Then once again दिस इज ऑल्सो समथिंग. तो अब यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे यू कैन डू द एलिमिनेशन, कुछ कुछ कर सकते हो, ठीक है. वारी वरकरी क्या बताया था मैंने, कहाँ से है ये? महाराष्ट्र. कहाँ पे? पंढरपुर. सो इट इज महाराष्ट्र पंढरपुर. एंड संथाल्स आर फ्रॉम झारखंड, ठीक है. तो दिस इज रॉन्ग ऑप्शन. तो व्हाट दे हैव आस्क्ड, विच ऑफ द पेयर्स गिवन आर करेक्टली मैच. सो नन ऑफ द अबव भी हो सकता था, ठीक है. बट देन सिंधीज एंड नंद राज जात यात्रा चलीहा साहब फेस्टिवल ऑफ द सिंधीज. देन so इसमें से there was this one in 2017 that Chaliha Sahab festival of the Sindhis was in the news because some issues happened in the Pakistan Sindh province also. So it was in the news, but then second wala nahi tha. So if one is correct, so one only भी हो सकता था. Difficult, but एक at least you could have eliminated. वारी वारकरी. बाकी दो में there was the question. So it was difficult question of that year because I too have covered. देखो, books we do cover fairs and festival. Then, so maybe I also have given near about 50-60 festivals of India. But then I believe I understand that if I would be the student, I will also not be able to remember all the things. Then, तो यहाँ पे news comes handy. But कभी कभी ऐसा भी है कि बिना न्यूज़ के भी पूछ लेते हैं. 1 or 2 question तो difficult would be there. Then, तो in that scenario, द ओनली थिंग आई वुड से कि इसमें अगर जो इसके वारी वर्करी निकालने के बाद भी इफ इट इज़ नॉट गेटिंग सॉल्व, लीव इट. देन डोंट अटेम्प्ट इट. देन सो लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट. दिस इज क्वेश्चन मोर ऑफ अ मॉडर्न, ठीक है. एंड मतलब आई वुड से, बट यहाँ पे रखा गया है बिकॉज ऑफ द टाइम लाइन. Consider the following statement. St. Francis Xavier was one of the founding members of the Jesuit order. St. Francis Xavier died in Goa and a church is dedicated to him there. The feast of St. Francis Xavier is celebrated in Goa each year. I'll give you elaborately. Okay? So I'll give you elaborate information. I think I have given in the classes then. So should I connect to? I don't know. Chalo. I wanted to connect, but I'll do it with one exercise. First, I'll remove it and then just give me 1 minute. So use the resources which I have created for you, okay? And believe me that these resources obviously takes my time, money, my space also. But then I want that there must be some free space for everybody, those who are studying from me and those who are not studying from me, for everybody to learn the culture and the history part. So, भैया नेट काम नहीं कर रहा है आपका, चल ही नहीं रहा है इस पे. चलो I'll just show you some of the images of it. One image. बाद में क्वेश्चन पे I'll come to. Is it not connected? Fine. So this is the church which is over here. So this is dedicated to St. Francis Xavier. If it gets connected, so then only you can have a look. So this is the church of St. Francis Xavier, and the name of the church is Bomb of Basilica Jesus. Then, so Basilica of Bomb Jesus, Goa. It's dedicated to St. Francis Xavier, and then other images. I don't want to show you my family pictures. So these are this I covered very recently. Then. सो दैट कि ये पोर्तुगीज वाला पार्ट तुम्हारा स्ट्रांग हो जाए. कुछ भी पूछे यूपीएससी में ना, चाहे एंशियंट, चाहे मेडिवल से, चाहे मॉडर्न से, यू मस्ट बी एबल टू सॉल्व इट. देन तो दिस इज वन थिंग, ठीक है. तो चर्च ऑफ सेंट अगस्तीन, एंड देन सो नाउ जस्ट हैव अ लुक एट इट, ठीक है. यहाँ पे क्या है, व्हाट इज दिस, मैरीगोल्ड फ्लावर्स. सो दिस इज वेरी यूनिक ट्रेडिशन ऑफ द सेंट फ्रांसिस जेवियर दैट ही इज ऑफर्ड ओनली गेंदे का फूल. जनरली वी सी दैट गेंदे का फूल इज ऑफर्ड इन द हिंदुइज्म, ठीक है. इट इज यूज मेनली, अभी नवरात्र चल रहा है, हम लोग यूज करते हैं. बट देन गेंदे का फूल इज ऑफर्ड टू सेंट फ्रांसिस जेवियर, एंड मोर ओवर गेंदा का फूल इज द नॉट द नेटिव प्लांटेशन ऑफ इंडिया. मैरी गोल्ड केम टू इंडिया विद द पोर्टुगीज. दिस कुड बी द पॉसिबल क्वेश्चन बिकॉज एवरी ईयर यू आर गेटिंग द नेटिव प्लांटेशन. नेक्स्ट ईयर, नेक्स्ट टू नेक्स्ट ईयर, एक्सपेक्ट मैरीगोल्ड or some of the other things which has been brought by them. So now let's come to the question first, ठीक है. अब वापस क्वेश्चन पे आते हैं. Let's have a discussion on it. हट गया, ठीक है. तो just give me 1 minute. Previous year questions. कहाँ पे थे हम लोग? Banaras brocade. Yes. So this is the part. So I'll tell you the entire story and just go and see the videos of the culture quantum. ठीक है? Shorts भी है उसमें. Shorts में क्या है? That all the all the plantations or agricultural commodities introduced by the Portuguese, you will solve जो predict किया था उसके अलावा you will solve some of the question from this short videos of this year paper 2 question you can solve it. Then so native vegetables and दूसरा I have covered St. Francis Xavier. Then तो St. Francis Xavier was one of the founder member of the Jesuit order, meaning that propagation of the Christianity. Then and Jesuit order was meant for the propagation of Christianity. He arrived in India somewhere around 1540. Then second is St. Francis Xavier died in Goa and a church is dedicated to him. St. Francis Xavier died in China. His body was brought from China to Singapore and from Singapore to India. So his body was brought from China to Singapore to be buried. But वहाँ से लाके फिर वापस ये जो church है, इस church में his body is kept. Then so the Basilica of the Bomb Jesus is dedicated to St. Francis Xavier. Why he's famous? Because he is the instrumental figure in converting large number of Indians into the Christianity. It is said about him कि on a one fateful day in the Goa itself, he converted 10,000 people into Christianity. Then the third is the feast of St. Francis Xavier celebrated in Goa each year. Then so feast matlab कि his life is celebrated every year. So there are two things. इसमें एक और चीज है that his feast is celebrated every year and every 10th year exposition of his body happens. Then what is exposition? That this is the year. ठीक है 2024 was the year. जुलाई पिछले के पिछले महीने में ठीक है जुलाई में yes in July it was somewhere on 21st to 22 his body is brought back or taken to the top ठीक है his obviously is the skeleton for exposition meaning that people can see reverence is given to him then and then you know what people do that लोग उनके body part चुरा के ले जाते हैं ठीक है तो कोई नाखून चुरा ले गया somebody has taken his nail somebody has taken the shoulder bone then and then somebody has taken some of his fingers then so this is and these are to be found in the different parts of the world so there is hell lot of that tourism Christian tourism happens at this point of time in Goa every 10th year people come to see his body. He's considered as a god in the Christianity and that's how people take away these things. So that also I have covered. Then, so you just see that, so only second option was incorrect. He did not died in India, he was only buried in India. So that is it. And he's one of the famous figure related to the promotion of the Christianity. Then, consider the following pairs. This is also the craft question. So craft दो जगह से पढ़ते हो ठीक है obviously one from the books and another from the एक NCERT है that crafts of India in class 11th but actually that NCERT UPSC ने आज तक उसमें से कोई भी question नहीं पूछा है ठीक है though the NCERT is there but then they haven't asked so crafts I have also kept a chapter of the craft so in that what you can do that you just look at the name of the craft and the state craft and the state that's how so it's a factual part and craft and the state if you happen to revise it 2-3 times so you can do Puthukuli Salts of Tamil Nadu then so Puthukuli Salts of Tamil Nadu it was also in the news then and because of the GI tag which was about to be given but it was not given in that year Sujani is also something which you can easily figure out if you are from the Eastern India. So how many of you are from Eastern India? UP, Bihar, कम से कम कुछ लोग तो सुजनी सुना ही होगा कैसे बनता है पुरानी साड़ी so people take it old sarees then and then layers after the layers of the sarees old sarees are done and then hand stitching is done then so sujani is created then sujani is a kind of that one very good quilt which is used during not the winters but it is used during the Purabiya. Go to the question of the mains of last year 2022 का ठीक है 22 या 23 का in that ask that Purabiya ठीक है that it's a geography section they ask this question and they mix it with the culture in the mains part which influences the cultural preparation in the Eastern India. So what is Purabiya? Understand कि यही महीना है this is October and then September October what happens the change of the air then So the old ladies in the house, what they say कि थोड़ा सावधान रहो, ठीक है, ठंडा गर्म हो जाएगा. You must have heard. Then so cough and then everything would be there. So this is what happens, that little bit of change in the air and you fall ill. So this is the time that the preparation in the eastern part of the India, basically the eastern UP, Bihar, what happens, that many things are done. So one of the preparation is the sujani, okay? They create sujani, that in the night you will be covering yourself with the sujani, not the normal coverings, ठीक है, या चद्दर जैसी कवरिंग नहीं, थोड़ी उससे मोटी और रजाई से कम. So sujani. Another thing, that the good is created. Jaggery is created mixed with the that ginger. Then and then other medicine, so that the this particular जैसे मुझे जो प्रॉब्लम आजकल चल रही है खराश, then so that would not be there. Then body would be warm to tackle the wind which is called as purabiya. So that is the cultural preparation. You see that how I would say that it was a difficult, obviously difficult, but very beautiful question. That a particular element of the one part of India is elaborated. So sujani is very part of the culture of the UP and Bihar. It is created. Then uppad jamadani sari. Jamadani is a method of creating the sari, and uppad jamadani, uppad is an area in the Andhra. So jamadani is also created in Bengal and Odisha, but the uppad jamadani, अगर जो जगह लिखा हुआ तो you have to go with the जगह, ठीक है, the place. So uppad is a place in Andhra, not in Karnataka. So this is a factual question which has been asked. Then with reference to the term हल्बी हो कोई pertain to, ये भी काफी न्यूज में रहा है from 2016, because when it comes to the linguistic diverse countries of the world, can you tell me that which country in the world is linguistically more diverse? The most diverse linguistically, meaning किस country में सबसे ज्यादा native tongues हैं? Not India. This is what is the misconception with all of us. The most linguistically most diverse country is Papua New Guinea. The second most diverse country is Indonesia. The third most diverse country is Democratic Republic of Congo. And fourth is India. So India comes at the fourth place, not the first place. This misconception has to be removed. And moreover, India is further moving in the domain where many of the languages are lost. So these are the endangered languages of India, Halbi Ho Kui, and there are basically the tribal languages of India, then which are becoming little, इनके speakers धीरे धीरे कम हो रहे हैं. That's why they are in the news. Moreover, इनके साथ में एक और question था, that there were few languages from the Andaman and Nicobar. The name of the two languages was Bo and Kora. They completely became extinct because the last speakers of these languages were dead, and after that, it only exists in the JNU, whereby the dictionary of these languages is created. Then, so it is news related question. Then सो ये अब मैं डिस्कशन नहीं करूंगा स्पोर्ट्स वाले, यू विल हैव टू सी, क्योंकि ये जो स्पोर्ट्स का क्वेश्चन है, ठीक है, दिस इज फ्रॉम 2000 आई थिंक 2022. इस ईयर का स्पोर्ट्स का क्वेश्चन इस ईयर के बेस पे होगा. तो टाइगर वुड एंड देन दीज ऑल स्टफ. देन दिस इज ऑल्सो द सेम क्वेश्चन. देन 32 समर ओलंपिक्स. देन तो नाउ दे विल बी आस्किंग अबाउट दिस समर ओलंपिक कि इसमें क्या था. एंड रिमेंबर, मुझे जो लगता है, ठीक है, व्हाट आई फील, rather than asking from the summer Olympic, Paralympics में question would be asked in the mains, the prelims paper. So you just, because India's performance was best in the Paralympics, ठीक है, not in the main Olympics. Then, तो not main Olympics का तो you all know that who has win the what all titles and what all bronze or silver or whatever. But Paralympics may we have performed well. Just inquire about each and every sports person. Definitely there you could find a question related to that. Then once again, the ICC Test Champion final, it was also the 2022. Then Prime Minister, ये मैं discussion करूँगा, ठीक है, इसमें elimination can work. Then, and this is one of the most interesting thing, repeated thing, not interesting. Interesting तो बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, but repeated stuff. Just give me 1 minute. Now, so question is 2022. Prime Minister of India recently inaugurated new circuit house near Somnath at Veraval. Then, so Veraval is the town of the port town of the Somnath. Somnath is also port town and Veraval is also port town. It happened to be once upon a time, it happened to be my hometown. Then, so which of the following statements are correct regarding the Somnath temple? Somnath temple is one of the Jyotirling, correct. Then, Then Somnath temple was destroyed by many of the Islamic invaders. The most important was Mahmud of Ghazni, who destroyed it and who destroyed the Sivalinga also. So when Mahmud of Ghazni was invading India, that was the time when there was a traveler who has come and writer who has come. His name is Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni has mentioned about this destruction in his Kitab al-Hind. Then, so he has mentioned about Kitab al-Hind. That is correct. Now, Pran Pratishtha of Somnath temple, installation of the present day temple, was done by the President S. Radhakrishnan. Now, what is the timeline of the S. Radhakrishnan? So, who is the first President of India? Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, 1952 to 1962, he was the president. The new temple of the Somnath was created under the guidance of Sardar Patel. And in fact, Jawaharlal Nehru ji was not, he was like, we have declared that India would be a secular state, the temple construction is not must be there with the government side. But then, entire lot of the that politicians of India, they argued with Nehru ji that obviously it is not, that it does not mean that we are less secular. But then if you look at, if you have a better understanding of the India's legacy, so this temple has been the symbol of the cultural attack on India, and it has been destroyed by many a time. Then, so it was destroyed initially by Mahmud of Ghazni, then Ulugh Khan, then at the time of the Delhi Sultanate, then at the time of the Aurangzeb, 1706. So this has been destroyed so many times, and every time it has been reconstructed. So in 1950, K.M. Munshi and then Sardar Patel. So its construction started. It was complete by 1951. So जब complete हो गया 1951 में, तो प्राण प्रतिष्ठा कौन करेगा? That the president, ठीक है? मतलब लॉजिक ये नहीं है कि प्रेसिडेंट करेंगे प्राण प्रतिष्ठा. अब इसमें ये देखो, ठीक है. The second part, Somnath, Pran Pratishtha of Somnath temple, present day was done by President, ठीक है, S. Radhakrishnan. Radhakrishnan was vice president at that time. 1951 में प्राण प्रतिष्ठा हुई. He was vice president, he was not president. When he became president, 1962, तो 10 साल बाद. तो he was not president at that time. This is a wrong option. So, that timeline of the presidents, if you remember, then only you can solve. तो यहाँ पे क्या है? It is a question of the culture, but little related to the timeline in the polity. Then, so interdisciplinary approach question is this. It's not just the cultural question, but interdisciplinary also. Then comes Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna. ये सबसे बड़ा award है. इसमें डिस्कशन नहीं करूंगा. आई डोंट हैव एक्सपर्टीज. इस साल का जो भी होगा स्पोर्ट्स वाला, यू जस्ट लुक एट इट, ठीक है. देन दिस इज ऑल्सो द चेस ओलंपियाड विच हैपेंड इन इंडिया, ठीक है. देन दिस इज इंडिया वे एंड वाई भारत मैटर्स. ये तो आई थिंक एवरीबडी नोज. एस जयशंकर, ही हैज रिटन इट. सो दिस वाज वन ऑफ द इजीएस्ट क्वेश्चन ऑफ दिस ईयर. सो दिस इज व्हाट इज ऑल अबाउट योर आर्ट एंड कल्चर डिस्कशन. स्पोर्ट्स जरूर करना इस बार, because you will get 1 or 2 questions from the sports and the awards this year, because the Olympics have happened then. So, and this has been the case always, that whenever the Olympics happens, so in that year they do ask a question from this particular section. Okay? So I hope that it may help you this entire session in one way or another way. Not only you know the answers of the previous year question, but also little bit of the techniques you have learned at this point of time. Done? So, how many of you have attended other sessions also? Economics attend किया था? Basically, I would say कि economics भी थोड़ा current oriented ज़्यादा होता है. But then modern का जब भी होगा, whoever takes, then you attend the modern session also. ठीक है? That will be helpful. Modern हो गया? तो, but then it happens many a times. Who has taken modern? नहीं. The main faculties will also be taking. ठीक है? I got to know that whom you are saying. That main faculty either me or Khatri sir, ठीक है. तो हम दोनों में से कोई भी लेगा, तो just attend. Then it will be happening. 10-year paper it will be happening. Don't worry about it. ठीक है. चलो, so wind up and happy Navratri to all of you. Then and enjoy at least today. आज चितरंजन पार्क जा सकते हो. चलो, bye. Thank you.